How dare you? Okay.
And you're called the
So,
social duck, no less.
I am called social. Yeah, sorry. I'm Andrew for the record.
The,
Sorry.
the
Um,
antisocial is silent.
Right.
yeah. Um. Oh, we're live. Whoops, my bad.
Whoa.
it's okay. You're
Good
good.
morning.
But
Good morning.
I'm gonna wait for a couple people to join in, but um we can probably get started now. Um I want to thank everyone here for joining me, especially my boy Ross at MGF Customs. It's such an honor to have you here. But I also have Andrew, aka the Social Duck. Andrew, how you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited.
Also my friend Miles. Miles, how you feeling?
I'm here. I'm good. I'm excited to yap. Very excited.
And awesome. And also Eric, Aquaforge.
Hello. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys because I haven't. The only person I've been able to talk to about everything that's going on right now is my girlfriend, and she's very new to Star Wars, so it's like, cool. So
Yeah. So Star Wars Celebration has come and gone. I just want to quickly go around and just say, just in a couple sentences, what are everyone's basic thoughts? Like, better than previous celebrations, worse? I'll go, since it's just, I can see you guys the way, we'll do Andrew, Ross, Eric, Miles. So, Andrew, I'll let you go first.
Oh, I'm being put on the spot. I mean, I wasn't like blown away or anything, but there were a few things that were pretty cool. I would say compared to some previous celebrations, probably a bit of a step down, but I don't think it was necessarily bad either.
Yeah, I would agree. And we're going to go through not everything, but the big hitters. Ross, what about you?
I mean, listen, I've been to a few Star Wars celebrations. I know you have too, Joe. And like, I had the impression that Lucasfilm wasn't quite ready for this one. And they didn't have a lot to bring, but they were also like, we got a Maul series though, and Visions is looking pretty good. But the rest, we don't know yet. Try next year.
It felt like we were missing like a trailer or like a big, because basically just went, Mando's looking good, guys. Ahsoka's starting soon. Andor's next week. And I felt like if we had a trailer, it wouldn't have felt as empty, I guess. But Miles, what about you?
I would say like 95.8% of my reaction has been hyped. There are a couple of things we could talk about like later on that I'm kind of just annoyed with. But overall, I'm just here to be excited to get new content. Yeah, I'm just here for a good time, not a long time. So
exactly. And lastly, Eric, what are your summations?
I think I'm like middle ground on it right now because it just seems like that we didn't get a lot, but at the same time we did get some things that have only been rumored and we got a lot of confirmation. I liked that we got definitive dates for some stuff. So it's things that are locked in fully. They're going into production before a certain couple of dates come out for movies that I'm kind of iffy on right now. So it seems like that maybe these movies will actually come out and do pretty well.
Yeah, I remember even when I was in the Excel Center when they announced the 3 movies in London, and I remember them saying we got a Thrawn movie, the Avengers Endgame of the Mandoverse. They didn't actually say that, but that's how I envisioned it. The Rey movie and the Dawn of the Jedi movie, and my first thought was, not all 3 of those are all getting released. At least one of these movies is getting canceled, and I think everyone had the exact same thought when that happened. And I feel like here, Mando and Grogu is obviously getting made because it's almost done. And I think Sean Levy's movie is most likely going to get made, considering they already have post-production dates. Not pre-production dates, and they're going to start filming. So I think at that point, that movie's definitely going to get made. And it just, I don't know. I want us to just jump right in with Mando and Grogu, because I think that's the one we know the most about so far in terms of stuff. And we have actual set photos. We don't have a trailer, which, again, I felt we probably needed. But does anyone want to throw their hat into the ring first if there's anything that stuck out to them with Mando and Grogu?
Okay, so Joey knows this, but I don't think anyone else knows this. I used to live 10 minutes from Disneyland, and during I think last year's season of The Force, they had those little BD droids walking around our Galaxy's Edge, and then they took them away. And I was really upset because I didn't know why. But now that I know they're going to be in the Mando and Grogu movie, I'm a sucker for little guys, like little cute guys who, are just so adorable. So I'm actually really excited to see them. That was really
Jon
cute.
Favreau took your BD droids and said they're free real estate.
It's okay. I'm coming for Dave's left shoe if he doesn't give me what I want in Ahsoka. So
yeah, we got Zeb. We'll get to Ahsoka, but they confirmed Zeb's gonna be in Ahsoka season 2, which is
I'm so happy.
Yeah, but it's great to see the BDX droids. They were really cute in Galaxy's Edge. I never got to see them. Can we talk about Buff Rod of the Hutt? So
no, we cannot. Next question.
Ross, you're the Clone Wars connoisseur. Do you have anything to say about Rod of the Hutt?
Listen, I was right there starting my YouTube channel with a handful of other kids in 2008, reviewing the Lego ATTE, and the hype around Rod of the Hutt was real. I mean, this dude was the dude, and I'm not sure if we've really talked about, or I think there's I'm not sure we talked about the rumored villain of this movie as well.
We can say Embo because it's out there.
Okay,
but we didn't,
yeah. So as one of the biggest Clone Wars fans on the face of God's green earth, I could not care less about seeing these two green freaks showing up all these years later. Just these two random bottom of the barrel Clone Wars characters just showing up because we already took back Mandalore, so I guess we'll just do this. Because what else is left? We already showed everyone else from the Clone Wars. Who else did we not show?
Okay, so Joey probably knows my beef, but the one I say medium-sized beef with Mando season, was it 2? 2 was the last one, right? No, 3.
3.
Season 3.
We forgot.
Where's mention of my girl Satine? The fucking ruler. Sorry, the freaking ruler of Mandalore. Kind of a big deal. Why Bo-Katan does what she does.
Yeah.
That's my gripe.
They had
how many green freaks we've got though in this movie? We got Grogu, we got Rada, we got Embo. We might as well do Meeber Gascon at this point.
Grogu is just a little guy. You can't. You can't drag him into this.
It was so funny too because I told Joe about this, but I have a friend right now that I'm getting into Star Wars. I'm basically being his guide, and so we've been trying to time it right. I've got him to watch Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. He wanted to do it in chronological order, so we were going to try to watch all of Clone Wars before hitting the Revenge of the Sith re-release, and that would be his first time. Anyway, but the didn't work out. But we watched the Clone Wars movie the other day, and I was so tempted the entire time to be like, guess who you're gonna see again.
Wait, I haven't seen the movie. The tiny big Stinky is Road of the Hutt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Same dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's like what Ross said. They've run out of Clone Wars characters to bring into live action because we've done everyone. I guess they're saving Hondo. They're saving Hondo for Skeleton Crew season 2 if that ever gets made, I guess.
Yeah, why do we have Hondo in literally everything but a show?
about pirates.
Like a live action show.
I'm gonna not open up that can of worms.
Exists in
'cause
real life.
He's public enemy number 1 in my eyes. But when I catch him,
The only pre-established character to show up in Skeleton Crew was Vane, and like I like Vane. He's funny. I'm biased because I like Marty Matulis, but it's funny that they're like, who do we bring into Skeleton Crew? And then
Not the
John
main
Watts
pirate.
the Nikto from Mando season 3, because and they're like, what about Han?
Dude,
And
even
I
Dave
remember-
Filoni and Jon Favreau, they were like, we got to put Bo-Katan, the Mandalorian, in the Mandalorian show. Like, but in Skeleton Crew, they're like, Hondo, who needs him?
Well, I still think they're saving him in their back pocket, but I'm more so like I get Embo, because like Embo, I think he's like essentially a samurai. He was in the Kurosawa memorial for the Clone Wars, that episode with like that introduced like Sugi and had like the Volutions. So I get
the 7 samurai. Sorry. Yeah.
It was literally a 7 samurai, because there were 7, 3 Jedi, 4 bounty hunters.
Yep.
And I get Embo because like Mandalorian is essentially a samurai western, but I get like I could see a really fun dynamic with Embo and Din Djarin, but Rhoda the Hutt is just
Who says he's gonna be a villain though?
Embo.
No. Are you talking about Rhoda just existing in the Mandoverse, or are you talking about him being a villain in the Mandoverse?
I don't think Rhoda's gonna be a villain.
Okay, because I was gonna say
he could be. I don't think he's going to be because I don't see him being, because he's a gladiator from what we've seen. I don't want to show the clip again because I feel like if I show too much of it, I'm going to get in trouble. But he's a gladiator, so I don't think if he were like heir to the Hutt cartel, because Boba Fett was moving in his territory, I could see that. But
bro, speaking of that, sorry, how are you going to have Tamura Morrison at Celebration and not give that man a season 2?
Yeah,
that's just like rubbing salt in the wound, man.
Because I like saw the clip the other day. Like, I don't know if you saw that too, where he ends it with like the "please call me."
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Again,
I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad.
Literally, if you've met Tim Morrison, he's like, I mean, you don't even have to just to like see those clips. He's literally one of the, if not the coolest human beings on the planet.
Oh,
not
I
just
I
put
haven't
that man
personally
in everything. Yeah, I mean, like
I have a couple sweet stories from meeting him back in 2023. Like, that man deserves the world. He is just the softest, like, sweetest guy, and it makes me mad. And it's another reason I'm coming for Dave Filoni's left shoe. Like, give him.
If he's not in the Thrawn movie, I'm not even joking. I will be crushed. They're allergic. I don't understand why they're allergic to Boba Fett now. And
because they gave him a show that was destined to bomb because they wrote the script on a napkin and then just went right into filming it. That's why.
And gave it to the guy that made Spy Kids. Mind you.
Like it's
okay. First
so,
of all, Spy Kids is a great movie.
The first two are great.
Agreed.
It's so weird that, because I mean, people are, I guess, upset that Boba's character shifted so much, but I don't.
Again, I have an essay pre-written about why you guys don't, not you guys, but like the general fandom does not like his character development when it makes so much sense.
Yeah, and it was like in Mando season 3, the same with Bo-Katan, where she's destined to retake Mandalore. Boba is the first Mandalorian, and it makes sense to at least address him, even if he doesn't identify as a Mando.
Another hill I will die on. The clones are all Mandalorian.
I think one big thing we're forgetting here is that like Din Djarin helped him liberate Mos Espa, and Boba Fett is currently indebted to him big time, and like both Din Djarin and audiences, we're all owed another appearance from Boba Fett because of that.
Yeah,
you're so right.
It's unfortunate, and Tem's please call me. It didn't feel like a joke, and he could have played it off with his joke, but I feel like deep down he's genuinely saying like, please bring me back.
And
And-
him and Daniel did a panel at the convention I was at, and beforehand I got to go get him to sign my photo op. And I was just like, "Do you know anything about when you're coming back? Like, Book of Boba Fett meant so much to me. That man, you think Pedro Pascal has like big brown puppy dog eyes? Oh my god, that man looked so sad when he had to tell me no, I don't know anything." And I'm just like, oh my god, it like hurt me.
I'm gonna go to war if we don't see Boba Fett again, man. It's
Right.
just we haven't seen him since like 2022, and I'm not counting the Jedi Survivor cameo. I don't. That doesn't count to me. That's not enough.
I never even played it, dude. I stopped playing the game before I even got to that. I just finished the
He-
story and never fought Boba.
When you don't even fight him, when you complete the bounty
Oh.
mission, when you complete the bounty missions, Cage turns on you, and then you fight her, and then Boba swoops down, and he's like, "Hey, Cage, I'm here to pick you up," and then Cal's like, "Hey, you're kind of cool," and Boba's like, I don't really talk to Jedi. Please leave," and then you just leave. You don't even get to fight him. He just is like, "She's mine," and Cal's
That's pretty
like,
funny.
"Yeah." But yeah, and I will say the action. I just want to say, as everyone's seen the leaked trailer, I can't show it, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw it.
okay, I will say the action looks incredible because
Mhm.
Yeah.
I heard that the Din got a new Mando suit, and well, it's aesthetically the same, but it's essentially created to because it's a different makeup and costume team. It's the same aesthetically. It's meant to be the same costume. However, it's meant to give the actors more posability where I'm getting a photo of it up now where they can essentially move better, and you can just tell where there's so much more posability with the suit, and it looks incredible, and that's honestly what I'm most excited for with this movie. And I honestly, random question, do you guys think the Empire is going to be in more than like 30 minutes of this film?
I hope not.
I also
That's-
hope not. I
Well,
think that's an heir to the Empire movie.
and that's
problem, I
also
feel.
like kind of a good segue into what I wanted to talk about, because I want to know if other people feel the same way. So right now I am like reading the High Republic series for the first time after I got inspired from The Acolyte and from like my friends reading the book.
Hmm.
And kind of with like the announcement of like the mall show, for example, like
Mhm.
I understand why they're only focusing on like the same handful of characters, because as we saw with like the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, like the loud majority does not necessarily like new characters. But I know personally, I'm like, there's only so many stories you can tell with this character, and I would like to see, you know, like a live action Stellan, Avar, and Elzar, or a live action Bell, and he has a fire breathing dog, for crying out loud. Like, how cute would that be to see in live action? So
Live action Bell Zettifar would go really hard.
like,
yeah.
again, like I'm excited for the mall series because I love Sam and I love like any content we're getting, but at the same time, it's like I'm kind of just like, okay, another one, cool.
I
Where-
don't think we're gonna see the Empire. I think that mission of him on the ice planet, I think that will be the cold open, and it will go into we need to go to Nal Hutta or a planet. But there's also
Tatooine. Where else?
No.
The
Oh,
only
well,
planet
if we,
that
if we go to
exists.
Don't even
Tatooine,
put that into the universe.
if
The
we go
only-
to
no.
Tatooine, we get to see Boba Fett again. So it's
Well,
like
no, weren't they walking on Tatooine with Zeb?
They
no,
are.
that was the
They
that
are.
was the Adelphi.
Oh, I thought you were joking. I'm
That's
sorry.
I thought you
I
see
have-
R5
wait.
though.
Am I crazy?
No, I don't
No,
think
no,
you
no.
are.
I'm gonna put the picture up. It was not. It was the Adelphi base where Carson
Oh,
Teva
man.
was in.
Oh, that
Uh,
totally. I totally thought that was Tatooine. Thank God. If I see Tatooine again, I mean, like in the next year or two, oh no, dude. Like
I was looking at because I was showing Miles. I was introducing Miles to your reaction videos, and I showed them a clip of you seeing Boba Fett in the Marshal, and I remember one of your quotes was, "Let's not go back to Tatooine after this." That was end of
Yeah.
Mando season 2.
I don't know, man. My personal favorite was
God help us.
was Corky Kenobi, Corky Kreese for life, man.
Oh yeah,
I love.
I showed Miles that clip of when you watched Guns for Hire, the Lizzo and Jack Black episode, and there was like a random
Oh,
night
no.
owl in the back, and you went, "Is that Corky?"
And I'm like, yes,
And-
yes, it is,
Yeah.
because someone finally gets it. I don't care. Someone
Would have been
understands.
nice. I mean, it was so great to see Corky and Fen Rao and Sabine and
Oh, no.
Boba and like all these Mandos in
Ursa
the
and Tristan are
retaking
still
of
alive,
Mandalore.
Huh?
I was gonna say Ursa and Tristan are still alive, right? Like
Like Sabine's
Oh,
fam.
yeah, Sabine's family.
I think they're well and truly gone, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Like
I mean,
like
like-
gone,
Yeah, that's
like
what I thought.
bombarded, gone.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
But
Yeah. But no, like it would be so
Nuked.
cool to like have these little callback characters. Like if you know, you know. But alas.
No, I was just joking on how like we had all these iconic Mandalorians just not there for the retaking of Mandalore.
Yeah, that was weird.
Not even a joke.
There's so much I can't stand about Mando season 3. I'm gonna be real with you.
You know, I'm looking now. It's not Tatooine. It's the Adelphi.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Because
Okay.
I saw
Thank God.
R5 and I thought that it was Tatooine the entire time.
Ross, you gave me a heart attack. I was like, please, God, don't be Tatooine.
Oh no!
No, because R5 is there, so it is, and the BD droids are there, so it's definitely a Delphi base from season 3 of Mando. So thank God. And
R5, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the only R5 unit to ever exist.
that would be really funny if that's not him. If it's just a random R5 droid, because he's not like. That would be really funny if it's just meant to be an extra.
I also forgot that Mando owns R5 now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot that was a thing. I forgot that was a thing.
There was one more thing before, unless anyone has any other thoughts on Mando and Grogu. There was one more. Oh, Miles, you go.
Zeb needs Callus. That's all I'm saying. I'm just hoping for Mando or Ahsoka or something.
I hope we see Callus again. Callus was such a great character.
Me too.
I like.
Am I just a cynical bastard for like watching all of this and like seeing all these panels and stuff and just being like, it's the Mandalorian and oh boy, it's Grogu and then like Jon Favreau like rolls the Grogu animatronic out for the 11th time and it's like, oh my god! I mean, like,
I feel the same way.
Like, it's getting to a point where it's like, wow, that's so cool for the 7th time. Is there anything new happening here, or like
it's gotten to the point?
Okay,
it has gotten to the point that people now know what has changed, like the slight different movements that Grogu now has. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never noticed that, but okay, man.
It's just like I don't know. I'm gonna be real. Like the Mando and Grogu to me feels like I think the best way to put it for me is that it just feels kind of like DLC to like the show. And
Yeah.
We already took back Mandalore.
Random Clone Wars characters now, but like we've like passed all of the main stuff and all of the main character drama already. And I was talking with Joe about this the other day, where like to me, whether or not this movie is good is going to pretty much solely rely upon whether or not they have like a good character arc for Din. Because any single time that they try to do character work for Din, they immediately bring it back within like a season or two. It's like, oh, he has a new ship. Guess what? No, he doesn't. The Razor Crest is back. Hey, he actually took his helmet off to say goodbye to his son. Actually, no. Now he's begging to be let back into the Mando cult because
Jon Favreau doesn't know that cults are a bad thing.
Yeah, because they're just like, yeah. Let's see, what else was it? It was like, like he got over his hatred of droids. Actually, just kidding. He actually completely hates droids. Here's him like bullying a B2 for no reason. Like, it's like, so to me, it's like this movie is basically just like Mandalorian DLC that I don't really care about. But I'll say it's good if they like salvage Din's character. If he continues to just be like passive, or they like continue to, I don't know, bring his character back again somehow retcon another one of his traits or development, then I'm just like, no, I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the minority here. That's what I'm hoping for.
No, I agree with all of that because I hate status quo like resets. And the Mandalorian is especially like guilty of that on multiple occasions now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Dude,
it's
I'm
just
gonna
not
laugh
cool.
my ass off if we get to the end of this movie and we like check in with the mythosaur, but it doesn't actually come up out of the ground still, and they're just like, "See ya again."
Wait,
The
no,
myth-
Din goes back to Mandalore to meet the armorer. Grogu finally gets like a piece of like another piece of Mando, like a shoulder, like a pauldron with the Mudhorn signet, and
Yeah.
it pans down to the mythosaur still underwater, and it's not doing anything.
Yeah,
And
like
then the
we
mythosaur
threw the
talks.
budget on the Crate Dragon. The Crate Dragon was too much money, and after that, like Disney execs were like, "Don't do that again."
We got the Boba's riding a Rancor, Ahsoka's riding the Purrgil, Din Djarin is sitting on his ass doing nothing.
The mythosaur is
Djarin's in
just
the
like,
hut.
it's not my time. It's just not my time, man. He says it.
Yeah,
That's
the
Um,
retaking of Mandalore. Sorry, I'm gonna sit this one out, guys.
It's not my time. Just not my time.
There's
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to go over before we move on. It's this shot with the AT-ATs. So one thing I noticed is that these are the Rebels models, where they're based on Ralph McQuarrie concept art. And at first I was very confused because I just assumed that was a stylistic choice. However, I realized that the Rebels models in canon are earlier designs of the AT-AT. And I like that the Imperial Remnant is relying on outdated models to survive. I actually think that's a really cool concept.
I have a question.
I guess.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so it's Andor season 1, little bit of Rebels, Andor season 2, episode 4, and then 5, 6, etc., and then Mando is after episode 6.
Yes.
Okay.
But so I because one thing that was annoying me with the Mandalorian was how much of the Empire was left. Like, I think by the time we got to that episode with Mayfeld, I was just like, how many of these guys are like? I thought the war was over.
Yeah.
I get that the Empire was big, and I'm sure there are so many, but like, I don't. Then it's like we meet the Shadow Council, and it's like, oh, they're all still active. So I'm like, how many of them are left? So I at least like hear that they're implying that the Empire is still like essentially running on fumes, and they have to run back to their old, outdated designs. I think that's a neat idea.
I just hope it's more like obvious in the actual, because like you guys remember episode 3 of Mando, how like brutally in your face it was that these are like remnant stormtroopers, like they're in dirty armor.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
I don't know, 10 of them or something, and it's like it felt like they like all of the visual stuff that they had to show you, like, hey, the Empire is on its last legs here, kind of went out the window by the end of season 1, I would say.
Yeah, because the Death Troopers were just like clean, and then like everyone else that Moff Gideon brought in were just completely.
Well, and honestly, I don't even necessarily doubt that there's like some like larger groups of stormtroopers. I just think that when you get to season 2 and it's like half the episodes are them mowing down entire ships of stormtroopers, I'm like, okay, what are we doing here, guys? Like, so I do hope that if they just make it more apparent, I guess, in this movie. But
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing it because the snowtroopers that Din fights are like missing their hoods. It's just like they're missing gear. I think that's a cool bit. Like some of them are like the hoods are like ripped off. I think that's like a cool touch. So I'm happy they're kind of going back to what you said, where it's very clear that these stormtroopers are damaged.
yeah,
At the beginning of the trailer that we saw, he was fighting on the AT-AT.
Yes, it was in the bay, the Walker Bay, like the body of it. And then he was making his way to the head, and then the officer closed it off, and then that's when the trailer cut away. So, does anyone have anything else they'd like to say before we move on from this film?
I like that one shot. I like that, the one take.
The one take. That was really
the
cool.
oner.
that was cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, you're fine. I that was kind of it. I just think it was cool looking, but that's, I don't know. I feel like that's like the minimal that they could do.
Yeah.
I
I feel
kind
like
of
such a
agree.
I was gonna say I feel like such a hypocrite because like I'm gonna be sad. Like I'm gonna be in the theater. I mean, like don't get me wrong, I'm excited for it, but also I can see like I'm not as excited as I could be.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be better than Doomsday.
That's
Yeah.
actually, it's so funny to me that like if they stick with the current release dates,
No,
Doomsday is gonna be released in the same month as Mando and Grogu, and
they're
then
not learning their lesson from Solo.
Nope.
exactly, well, and then Starfighter is set to release the same month as Secret Wars. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Stop! Like,
I thought we learned our lesson from Solo bombing, guys. I hope that either Secret Wars gets pushed back or Starfighter gets also pushed back. Like, I don't know.
I agree because isn't Doomsday
Doomsday's
like
set to release
just
in
started
May.
its filming?
It's
Yes.
just starting, and it's
That
releasing
either-
in less than a year.
Either the VFX workers are not seeing their families, or it's going to look atrocious, or both, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
They need like Doomsday. I
Wait,
feel like
it said-
Doomsday getting pushed back would help both Mando and Avengers.
Yeah,
And
you-
they
Yeah.
probably have all the families in like Wilson Fisk style cages, you know.
like,
like the ones at the end of Born Again.
I mean,
That's great. I mean, not great for them, but great joke.
that's
Um,
hilarious.
But speaking of which, this should be a quick one because we don't have a ton of news. But Sean Levy's Star Wars movie officially got a release date and a title, as well as confirmation that Ryan Gosling will be at least a leading role, if not the leading role, which I would like to. Obviously, we don't have a lot to go off of because we don't even know what the movie's about. However, I'm cautiously optimistic only because we haven't explored anything post Rise of Skywalker. So
Is
I'm just excited to see what the universe looks like
is that
after.
the same as Daisy Ridley's movie, or is it different?
I believe they're entirely separate films.
Okay.
They are, yeah.
Okay. And then another question. Is this movie okay, two-part question. One, does Skeleton Crew take place after Rise of Skywalker or after Return of the Jedi?
Rise
And
of
two-
Skywalker is set in the same era as The Mandalorian.
Okay. And then
We know this because Vane the pirate is there, and he was in
I mean,
the
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Okay.
You said Rise of
don't know- we
Skywalker
don't
by
know if it
accident.
takes-
I don't want to confuse
Yeah.
Miles more.
we don't know.
Okay.
We don't
No,
know if it
I
takes
understand.
place
Okay,
before or
and
after,
then-
but it's in the Mando era.
Okay, and then two-part question. Is this movie during that time or after Skeleton Crew?
This is after Rise of Skywalker, so this is technically the latest Star Wars thing
That we
period
have.
in the time. It takes place after.
This is like 30 years after the Mando era.
Yeah, so
Yeah, okay.
so most of the Mando era. Well, I would assume like Bo-Katan's probably kicking, but she's old, and I don't think we're gonna see any Mando characters. But I'd like to see.
Probably not characters from Mando, but we could see characters that are Mandalorian.
I'd like to know what happened to Mandalore during the sequel era because we know they were at Exegol. Their
Yeah.
gauntlet fighters were there.
it would be interesting if they started rebuilding there, at least to some degree, or like, I don't know, because like
If
something
the
that
First Order bombed them out again, I'm gonna be so angry.
that would actually be so funny. Well, because they're canonizing right now, like with Legacy of Vader, they're going through and they're like, yeah, they actually did like an invasion of Naboo during that time. So it would actually be really
Well,
funny if they're
hold
like,
on.
"Guess
Can I
what?
just say-
Mandalore."
The
Can I
way
just say-
everyone looked up when Andrew said that.
Can I just say that if I had a nickel for every time Naboo got invaded by an occupational force, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice because it happens in the High Republic too.
Count? Does the Empire count? Because that's 3.
No, it happens in the High Republic era too.
It
But
does.
I mean,
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Does,
just finished reading a comic where that happened, and that's where I believe that's where we meet the Path of the Open Hand, but I could be wrong. Also, another cult.
I mean, does Damask Holdings count? A group of Munes that have set up shop to mine out the plasma of the core of the planet and
Okay, so I'd have 3
establish the
nickels.
plasma refinery facility you see in the Phantom Menace?
So if Plagueis
certain
is
Mune
canon,
named-
which it very well could be canon at this point, because Plagueis doesn't really contradict anything in the lore. That's 5. So it goes High Republic
does.
era, Damask Holdings, the Trade Federation, the Empire probably, and the First Order. So that's 5 times Naboo's been invaded by outside fascist regimes.
And there has to be people there who have lived through like what, like 4 of those, right? I mean, because
Yeah.
Maybe 5 if it's
probably
not, if
not
it's
that
a
many.
non-human species.
I mean, if I may go off on a tiny itty bitty tangent, in the Queen's Shadow, Queen's Hope, it's a trilogy. It's a book
Yeah,
trilogy about Padme. You actually get to see that 2 of her handmaidens got married and adopted a bunch of kids, and they lived through the occupation. They were like brutally tortured by the Trade Empire. Like you get to see like all of that happen. So that's why like I always encourage people to like read the books if you're interested, because it's such good supplemental material.
Oh yeah, I've been getting into more novels recently. Resistance Reborn, and then I read the Ahsoka novel. So I mean, that's
I thought that one was just okay. I wanted to like it.
I mean, it's
It's,
not
it's-
canon anymore at this point because they've retconned like
Dude.
every part.
Joe,
of
don't
that.
don't
the-
start. Or I'm gonna be
The
you're
the
gonna get me
opening
on a
of the
tape
Ahsoka
recorder.
novel with like E.K. Johnson's version of what she thought Siege of Mandalore might be, it has not aged well, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, I know. Well, it's like I don't know. Like I finished that book like 2 months ago, and I was like constantly talking with Joe about it, and I was like,
You were reporting in every chapter.
I was
You're
reporting
like,
in
I mean,
Ahsoka book
yeah.
update number 4. This book is a banger, and I hate Dave Filoni. Like,
Real. No, honestly,
You're like
real for that.
Joe, like Ahsoka's still on Raieta, dude. The farties, they're still here, dude. There's this kid named Kaden
was
crushing on her. This book, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 Ahsoka content. This is it.
Okay. To be fair, yeah, it's weird. Like it's weirdly paced, and at some points it's pretty boring. There's that whole middle chunk of that book where like I don't know if you remember this, but like Ahsoka leaves that planet, and then the sixth brother goes to that planet, and then the sixth brother leaves Raieta, and then like goes to a different planet that he just left, and Ahsoka goes to that same planet. And then goes back to that planet, and then the sixth brother like follows her back, and I'm like, "What are we doing here?"
Yeah, and I remember the sixth brother just eventually cut somebody in half. I mean, just for the reason
Yeah.
he just laid out. Like,
Yeah.
he just kind of like
He
the
goes back to the
Scooby-Doo
planet,
chase got
like-
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, he goes back to the planet and is like, "Okay, I'm annoyed, and I'm gonna kill a bunch of civilians to lure Ahsoka back." So that's but
I wanted to very quickly go back to, because I just had an epiphany. This isn't even in my notes. I was reading somewhere that Starfighter is going to be about them introducing a new ship model, and that made me realize that this may just be a reskinned Rogue Squadron, which
Probably.
Yeah.
oh, was
Because-
that something reported about Rogue Squadron too? I didn't.
No, not reported, but Rogue Squadron was. It's not a secret that movie was about like recruiting the next era of pilots, and
I think I've seen a lot of people say that too. I wasn't really super invested in it, so like I didn't
me
really know
neither.
what
I was excited to see Poe and possibly Wedge again, but like that movie literally was in its infancy stage, and there was nothing to get excited about.
I mean, are we really surprised? Did anyone watch Wonder Woman 1984?
Oh, don't get us
Like,
What are you
started.
talking about? Best movie ever made, bro. I love that movie. Patty Jenkins would have done such a great job with Star Wars, dude.
We need
I
that
quite
movie.
literally consider it to be the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
I do not actually recall having a more miserable experience than that.
It may be the worst. It's the worst DC movie, that's for sure. But it may be one of the worst movies ever.
I only
I
want to
think-
watch.
yeah.
I was gonna say I only want to watch Birds of Prey because Ewan McGregor's in it, and I think he's just.
And Mary Elizabeth
I
Winstead.
liked Birds of Prey.
Birds
Oh,
of Prey
yeah.
was okay. It people slept on it. It was cute. It was fine. But I think it's funny that it's like, oh, they're gonna introduce a new ship model, and it's post-sequel trilogy, and that made me think, well, they're introducing a new ship. Who's they? It may be the New Republic. So, first of all, I'm just happy that we're done with X-wings because I'm so sick of X-wings.
Oh god.
We need like a complete overhaul of like all ships. I think for this new era, like it
I'm
needs to feel
so-
so crazy distinct.
It's only 5 years after Rise, and they can. Do
Oh, it's only
so
5
much
years after. Okay, well
Look,
maybe
if
they
it's
could
if it's
start
not the
so much with
ghost,
those
I don't
5
care
years.
about it.
we could maybe at least start to see like new ships get introduced, and then by the time of the Rey movie, hopefully there's like a ton more unique stuff.
because this is 5 years after, and the Rey movie is 15 years after Rise, because they said something about Rey being like 35, so that's 15 years. So it goes Rise, 5 years later, Starfighter, 10 years later, the new Jedi Order movie, hopefully if that ever gets made. But I don't know, if it's like a Top Gun style movie, if Poe shows up, because I mean, I feel like even people who hate the sequels thought Poe was cool. I like Poe.
I love
but-
Poe. I think
yeah.
he's great.
Yeah.
Somehow Ryan Gosling returned.
Oh my god.
Guys, I think like the point kind of has to be made here that I thought it was quite a choice to open this celebration with Kathleen Kennedy coming out on that stage and again perpetuating that, like, oh yeah, all these unnamed random movies with trendy directors attached that we haven't given you a single update on in 5 years. Still happening, guys. Welcome to Celebration. Still happening. Trust. And it's like Taika Waititi, like, well, the Patty Jenkins one, we don't talk about that. But Charmine, you know, like, still
The Ryan
happening.
Johnson one, we don't talk about that.
Yeah,
Simon Kinberg, everyone loves Dark Phoenix, still happening,
Oh my-
guys. And like
that movie,
what are we like? What are we doing? What? And then it's like, oh yeah, Deadpool 3, that was cool. Sean Levy, another trendy director, Colin Trevorrow. We don't talk about him either. But Sean Levy, like, these movies are happening, guys. I promise. Welcome to
the
Celebration.
only one that is guaranteed to release
Right next to
Heir
Star
the
Wars
Empire.
Eclipse, guys. Trust.
A Star Wars Eclipse. That game is doomed. That game is literally dead.
that one's on Quantic Dream though. To be fair,
it's
to be
that
fair,
game. That one actually wasn't Lucasfilm's fault
Yeah.
for once.
for once.
But no, yeah, the it's really worrying how the only thing they have faith in is Dave Filoni, because people like him and people like the Mando era and Ahsoka season 2 will probably do well. So Heir to the Empire, it's not even officially called Heir to the Empire. It's just easier than saying Untitled New Republic movie.
Another one, and they didn't even talk about that at the
Nope.
Celebration.
I think this
Yeah.
also goes back to what I was saying about, like, we're getting the same stuff
Yeah.
when there's so much we could explore. And don't get me wrong, I love what is being produced. Grogu is just a little guy that owns my heart, like everybody else. But at the same time, it's like,
How much Grogu do we need?
yeah, like, how much Grogu is too much? Because again, like, and this might be jumping ahead to something we're going to talk about, but I don't know if any of you guys saw Manny Jacinto's panel. Everyone in that room was cheering for a season 2 of The Acolyte.
It's not-
Everybody.
It breaks my heart because it's not gonna happen, and I didn't even like the Acolyte that much, but my heart goes out to Manny Jacinto, man. It's just
And like,
Talented guy.
such a
And
talent.
things
And like the best part of that show, in my humble opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Even
What?
people who don't like the Acolyte like Chimere. Like, that just goes to show
Yeah.
how.
I mean,
well,
I just started cosplaying as him, and multiple people have come up to me and have been like, "I could grab my helmet. The helmet's right over."
Get it out,
This
Aaron.
dude
Let's
is
go.
just about to put on Cortosis just right in front of us. I mean, like,
Starts having
But,
the
like-
like asthma attack.
exactly. I'm kind of going back to that, where, like, it was so many people being so loud about it, and so it may not even happen. But the fact that, like, shows that there is at least some interest in that era, and I think we can go make the books into live action. Because
Yeah.
also at a smaller panel they had with a bunch of High Republic authors, because the
Nice.
High Republic era is ending. I love that helmet. The High
Hell yeah,
Republic era
dude.
Oh, that's
is
sick.
ending,
That looks
and like,
incredible.
ugh, that's so cool. But like, I don't know. There's definitely an interest for the High Republic era, and I feel like if they had started with like the books and brought in like canon characters that people already knew, it would have been a little better. But like,
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. I was gonna say, well, after the Acolyte kind of bombed, I remember going on this huge rant on my Instagram and being like, "Well, this is gonna be Disney's show that will never get like an Old Republic movie or an Old Republic show because people will not go out of their way to watch this stuff." And it's sad that it has to be said though.
And realistically, I understand that, but it's just, really frustrating when you see people who clearly want something, but the
Mhm.
louder, more vocal, strong minority is, you know, taking up so much space, and that's all that these people hear, and we're gonna get the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
Miles,
I'm-
you and I have talked about it. Well, actually, I'm gonna let Andrew talk first.
Oh no, it's okay. I all I was gonna add is that I'm morbidly curious how the because we kind of have like a second round of Acolyte stuff coming this summer, like within the next
Oh
few
my god, I'm
months.
so excited about the
Yeah.
books.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so hyped.
I
Sorry.
am morbidly curious how well those will do, and I feel like the success of those are most likely going to determine whether or not we see the characters again in some sort of like small animated thing, or like if we get
Mhm.
more like
Tales
books
of the
like that.
Sith. They can easily
Tales
make.
of the High Republic, baby. Give me Starlight Beacon, give me Ember, give me friggin' Master, all the Jedi Masters that die. It's great.
I mean,
Fucking great.
There's
They
this one
can-
Mune who's like canon now, who's would fit really nice and snug into Tales of the Sith. Just saying.
I mean, they
Oh,
can
yeah,
easily, theoretically, they can easily fit Chimere and Osha's story into like a 3 Tales of the Sith episodes. I think. Like, what is there to tell that if you really need to condense it, Chimere needs Osha's help to usurp Darth Plagueis, and obviously, we know unfortunately that will not play out well. And it could be a great tragedy. I'm not the biggest Osha fan, but I'll be there for Chimere. I'll be there to support him. I think seeing him go out in a blaze of glory against Darth Plagueis just could
Yeah.
potentially be fantastic. And even if we don't see it in live action, I think seeing an animation at least would be
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I know
100%
Ross,
animation
you're
is the
not.
most.
I know Ross is not the biggest Acolyte fan, but I know you're a huge Plagueis fan, and I think at least getting to see that, at least getting to see him and Chimere's dynamic at least would have been good. And I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, even the characters I wasn't the biggest fan of are dead now, so we don't have many characters left to work with. It's just Osha, Chimere, and
Oh,
Plagueis.
I mean, did you like Vern?
okay,
I was
no,
not.
see,
I
that's
was
the thing.
not a Vernestra Rowe fan. I didn't find
Read
her
the
that
books, read the
interesting.
books, please.
I've-
dear God,
read
I
the
I've
beg
books,
read
you,
like
read the books.
one of I forget which
She's
one.
better than
I forget which
the
one I read because it was like 4 years ago now, but it had Vern in it, and I remember liking her a lot more in that book than I did in the
She's-
show.
And that's another thing I want to see, because in the book she is kind, bubbly, enthusiastic. She becomes a knight at the age of 16, the youngest that we've ever heard of. Like, she's so much different in the books, and I want to know how she got from book Vernestra to Acolyte Vernestra, because that is a complete 180.
It's
Do you like,
it's weird
do you
because
like the
people
casting
will
of her?
Rebecca Henderson. Yeah.
So when I read, there's very rare times when I have a vision of someone in my head when I'm reading, and Vernestra is not one of the characters that I do. So, like, I'm not against it, but because she's so different from the books, like, again, I can't make a judgment until I know why she is the way she is in the Acolyte. You know what I mean? Like,
I wonder if we'll get any like hints to that in that book.
well, there
Yeah.
is supposed to be the Wayseeker book coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
It's supposed to be about her. So I'm wondering maybe if we'll get that information in that book.
Yeah, I'm
Do you-
wondering
I
if
just
we'll
thought she
get
was,
Chimere.
she was way too
Do you think
stiff,
they
man.
planned that?
Yeah.
Like,
It
do you think
was-
that
Yeah.
do you think that like Leslie Headland, like writing that show, like specifically had a vision in mind for like what made her become that way, or do you think that she just like wasn't super like
I'd like to think that she did, just because I like to be positive and, you know, try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Mhm.
But there's also that, like, realistic part of me that's like, did she even know that Vernestra was this way in the books?
Yeah, I mean, I like to be
She
optimistic.
knows so much about like she knows about Baldemnik. She knows about all the Plagueis lore. I'd like to think
Yeah.
she knew about Vernestra's.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say, because I mean, obviously she brought in Cortosis. I mean, obviously there was that like
They
behind
never-
the scenes thing where Yord's
They
actor
never
was like,
classified Baldemnik though.
I mean, Ross, come on. It
I know
what other
it's
planet
totally
could it be?
it's totally Baldemnik, but they just never came out and actually said it. Which I
But
don't, you know, it's like
it has to be Baldemnik. No, what other
Yeah.
planet could it be? A
it makes
planet
total
where-
sense. But
A planet where Higo Damask is hiding out, and
yeah,
it's rich in cortosis, where he and Darth Venemus were getting up to their crazy little experiments.
It was totally Tenebrous. I don't think Venemus was around. Oh, I guess Venemus was around, but not there.
He was in a tube, or like I don't know.
Not yet.
But what I was gonna, if she had
but
all this
what-
extra
yeah.
knowledge, sorry, if she had all this extra knowledge that I didn't know about, then yes, I would like to think she knew what she was doing,
Yeah.
and she was just never given a chance to show that.
Yeah, I'd like to think it had something to do with Chimere.
That would make the
something.
most sense. I would.
Yeah,
say.
like something traumatizing had to happen with that relationship that shut her off completely.
But it's
Um,
interesting because in the book I just read, I believe it's like something about Starlight Beacon. I don't know. She ends up adopting another Padawan whose master had passed away. So like she definitely has that like maternal, caring side of her. So to see her act the way she does in Acolyte, it's gonna have to be something drastic.
She was so rude to Mog, dude. It was like really weird.
Oh,
He was like, oh, I know you get sick, and she's like, I don't get sick. I was like,
Yeah.
what's your problem, girl?
So,
Dude, that
Like,
was
he
so
asked
funny
the
too because like
question.
his whole role in there was just to be like, yes, I know you get sick. Your hyperspace thing.
He was there to be a punching bag for Vanessa.
Yeah, and
like the poor bastard.
I hadn't thought about Jedi Padawan Mog in a couple of years, man, and now I'm back, and I didn't need to be reminded
a
of that
couple
character.
years, Ross. The Acolyte hasn't even been out for a full year.
It's been a long year, Joe.
Really?
I survived a hurricane. A few things have happened.
It's been a rough month, Joe.
Yeah, it's been a rough
Mog
month.
was. There's only one thing I remember liking about Mog, and it was when Basil shows back up at the end of the last episode. He's like so happy to see Basil, and it's funny because everyone like is talking about like who killed all these Jedi, and they're like it could be Soul, and they're like all the bodies are here except for Soul and May and Osha. They're like. Who could it be? And it's like, well, Basil's body isn't there. Like, why are you not talking about Basil? Like, for all you know, it could have been him. So it's like very funny that he shows back up and Mog's like, Basil, it's so good to see you. And I'm like, oh, so now you guys care about Basil. It was really funny.
Dude, would have just arrested Mog just because I didn't like him, honestly. Blame it on Mog.
Remember when everyone thought that was like young Palpatine?
Just like Vern like
the
frames him
dumbest
instead of Soul.
controversy ever.
That was bad, Joe. That was bottom of the barrel Star Wars fandom when we were like, Mog is Palpatine. Like, we were at a tipping point.
The entirety of last summer was like so terrible. I remember like I was working at a fireworks like store at the time, and I just have like such like weirdly nostalgic memories for last year because of all of this, because it was weekly like, oh, here we go, the Ki-Adi-Mundi drama.
That character
fire
literally
in space.
Oh my god, that character literally, I can't even look at that character without getting violently angry because of that. Like literally borderline PTSD. I'm just like, I can't enjoy anything with his involving him, which really sucks because at the Lego store I went to yesterday in my mom's where my mom lives, they had a really cool handmade Lego display of the Order 66 scene that Ki-Adi-Mundi's a part of.
Oh, my Guido.
Yeah, and I was like, this is cool, but I can't look at it or I'll get so angry.
Like Ki-Adi-Mundi gives Miles PTSD.
Oh.
It is funny how like Star Wars like the fandom stirred a whole controversy over two aliens, Plagueis and Ki-Adi-Mundi, who are like biologically known to have extra brains and hearts and shit. And it's like,
yeah,
it's now a problem that these guys are around longer, the ones with extra organs and stuff. It's like,
also,
this is the hill we're dying on.
Also, like,
sorry, go ahead, Miles.
I would say, like, do we not know how to suspend disbelief anymore? Like,
yeah,
you guys are making it not fun at all.
Have you met those Star Wars fans?
People were like,
Unfortunately.
People were making like really dumb arguments about that. I remember because they were like, "Well, it says here on the Phantom Menace tie-in card, 2000, and actually his birthday was here." And I'm like, "Dude."
My coworkers made some really bad arguments because they said, in the Legends Phantom Menace Visual Dictionary, it says here his birthday is 64. BBY. And I'm like, well, that's the Legends visual dictionary. They're like, yeah, but it was approved by Lucasfilm, meaning it was official. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, but
at the
everything
time.
Legends was approved
Yeah,
by
everything
Lucasfilm.
in Legend, like, I don't understand the argument. Well, because it led to a discussion because people were trying to argue that, like, tie-in things to the movies were still canon. It's like, no, like, the Revenge of the Sith novelization is not canon.
The Revenge
Like,
of the Sith novelization or the visual dictionary mentions Aayla Secura being on Felucia, like hunting Asajj Ventress, which, like, no, that's
Yeah,
not
You don't know
what's
that?
happening.
How do you know that, Joe?
Because
Hmm?
when I was a kid, when I read that, because I have the book, I was like, Ventress was on Felucia? I was like, that makes no sense. So, like, that's like part of my brain. And
yeah.
obviously
I
that's
mean,
not
now
true.
maybe it does. She freaking lived again.
Read
We're
Dark
gonna-
Disciple. That is all I have to say.
Oh.
Just
Why
read
don't
Dark
we-
Disciple.
I did read
wanna-
Dark Disciple, and she was like buried and like dropped in a lake or something, from what I remember.
The Night Sister magic of the Witches of Dathomir, who in Rebels canonically resurrected a corpse.
We're like,
Shut up.
do you guys just want to
Sorry.
go into Shadow Lord now?
Yeah,
like,
honestly, that's really
Perfect segue. That's a perfect segue.
Again, I could yap. I apologize.
No, Miles, it's okay. This is great. But so we got a new animated show. I, for one, am happy we're moving on from Clone Troopers. I do think the Rex show that was rumored with like Echo and everything is probably still gonna come, but they're gonna do the Mole show first.
Why can't they just do multiple at the same time? They do multiple shows.
I mean,
I
they're.
don't know.
I
It's
don't.
so
I
dumb.
think.
I mean,
the-
2026 is pretty stacked already for stuff.
I think for the Mole. I think for the Echo show,
Yeah.
they said like it was a limited show, so they're probably just gonna do it like in between the Mole stuff.
What if that's our
mean-
next year, like May the 4th thing instead of another Tales?
Eh,
I'd be
a
down.
a month of that. I'd be okay with that.
I think that'd be cool.
But
Yeah.
I'm just like, because I after with Bad Batch, as incredible as that show was, I was getting a little cloned out. And
Well,
it was
speak
funny.
for yourself, because I am resident clone simp, and
I
I
know.
need all the content.
I loved Bad Batch, but it was just like it felt funny how people every like animated show it felt like this is the goodbye to the clone troopers, like Siege of Mandalore, and it was like, nope, we got Bad Batch, and then it just was like it felt like a little like, guys, we need to let the clones go. But I think after the Clone Rebellion show, I genuinely like I need to go like a good like decade without seeing clones again, because as much as I adore Miles, I know, as much as I love them, I need a break from clone
Yeah,
troopers.
No, honestly, that's fair, and I feel like a hypocrite if I would say that when they're
You went on a whole rant about like original. We need more diversity in the
okay.
characters. we
Okay,
have.
you want diversity in original characters? Put Sister in animated form or live action. Put
Sister, the clone,
in.
the one clone, sister.
Well, we've already
Um,
seen 2 girl clones. What's another one?
Okay, that's a good point. However, Darth Maul got his own show, which I'm happy with.
Me too.
It's probably
I'm-
the thing most hyped from the reveals.
Yeah.
I was a little PO'd about it at first,
Really,
but
well, Eric,
now I'm fine. Now I saw the leaked trailer. I'm pretty
My
I'm pretty
boy-
much looking
my
forward
boy
to it.
Marek is back. I have the cutout behind me of Marek.
Ugh, jump scare.
I got the figure.
I got literally the best news. The whole celebration was knowing that Marok is not forgotten about, and we're finally gonna get like. I'm so sick of seeing the same damn Inquisitors. It's just, you guys want a Grand Inquisitor comic run? It's like, no, we don't need any more of the Grand Inquisitor.
It actually annoys me because it's like we have basically nothing on like the 8th brother or like a good amount of the other ones, but they're just like, you guys want more 7th sister, 5th brother, Grand Inquisitor, and 9th sister? Here you go. And it's like,
I mean, to be fair, it would be interesting to see them, like, how they came from being Jedi to, like, falling to the Inquisitors.
I
But
agree, but they never do that. They're just like,
Yeah.
here's 5th brother in
Yeah.
like Battle Scars, here's 5th brother in the Inquisitor run from last year. And it's like, guys, I want to see the 8th brother. I want to see like Marok. If the Tales of Inquisitor is meant to be a separate one, I would like to
It's
see him.
I think the bird one from Tale that Ahsoka decapitates is the 11th brother.
Yeah, which
That
that was
don't-
giving me Revan. Or, is it Revan energy? Is that who I'm thinking of?
maybe.
Because his
But-
faceplate reminded me of that.
Joe and I have
the
been so many,
Clancy
like-
Brown's Inquisitor. He's like the first one to die. I think like it has to be like a year in.
So, guys,
think
I think what we really need here is Reva, a young Reva in this show, and we just need to
Listen-
see Reva getting stabbed again and then surviving, just like
I-
throwing everyone in.
Unironically, I want to
no,
know how
Stab,
Reva
like-
how Reva escaped the Jedi Temple because I need to know how she did that. Like,
I mean, she probably
No,
just
no,
stabbed
no,
herself
Joe,
as a distraction and kept running. You know, like it just happened a lot.
Joe, I don't need another like Order 66 flashback scene where it takes like 2 lightsaber strikes to kill a single dude. Like,
Yeah.
Honestly,
Honestly, that's how I feel.
because this is 1 year after Revenge of the Sith, so I would assume it takes place after Bad Batch, and we see the TK troopers. And we see Maul cutting down TKs, I think, which is cool. And I'm just excited we're getting more with Marok. I wish that they would stop introducing Inquisitors because I feel like at this point they're not as special anymore. But I hope
well,
after
we got another one in like, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Ventress,
Let's
if that
go!
Inquisitor survives more than 30 seconds against Asajj Ventress, I will be shocked.
Well, we're getting another Inquisitor. I didn't even know that.
There's
Yeah,
like, it's like
I
a
haven't even seen the trailer, dude.
There's like a Nikto Inquisitor. Like I think we're up to like if we're counting Barris, we're up to like 17 at this point.
Yeah, I think we're up there. I
Wait,
think less than
I was
15.
exaggerating, but I think it's actually 17.
The third and a half sister.
2056, the like 108th brother. Oh, like,
Yeah, I like it's just like you have so many like instead of reintroducing more that are only meant to die, why not just like use Trilla again or something? Like it's
exactly, and it's like again, well, they had 5th brother show up in Battle Scars, and he survived that. So it's like if you need
Exactly.
them to just show up to fight someone, you can do that. Again, 8th brother, my guy. Like I think the 8th brother is cool, even though he barely that's my glub shido, but you know.
he
I-
literally his only story is Rebels, and he's in there just to die.
Actually, he makes a cameo in the 2017 Vader run. Actually, Joe. But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
All
Like
he
literally,
does is stand in the
he literally just stands in the background
He does.
and says like one line.
but
Doesn't
no,
he
I'm-
get like a leg cut off or something?
That's
Yes.
9.
No.
no,
Yeah,
no,
the
no.
one. Yeah, never mind. The one that originally got killed by Ahsoka.
Dude, I'm starting to figure out why Palpatine was just like kill all these guys, dude. Just get rid of them. Vader too.
These
Just
guys suck.
like Vader, get rid of them.
It's so funny too because I just finished the Vader 2017 run actually too, and like it's so funny that the reason that the main like Inquisitor base
Scat.
is on Nur is because Vader just like gets into a speeder chase with like 2 Inquisitors trying to kill them, and he like bombs a senator from the sky accidentally. And
Yeah, but
Palpatine's
then-
like, you're a fucking idiot.
But then, like, apparently, like they were set up on Nur before Fortress Vader was even established for some reason. If you read into that, and that's
Yeah,
very
that's
weird to me.
Interesting. I don't know.
They need to fix like the whole timeline of the canon right now.
They need someone to just skim through and just be like,
Yeah,
where
this
was
makes
Ahsoka
no
during the
sense.
original trilogy? Please tell us.
I'm
Whoa,
telling you, man. I
whoa.
feel like having, you know how like some authors will have like sensitivity readers. I feel like that's what, like the whole timeline just needs someone to like.
That's what the story group is supposed to do, but are you insinuating that Pablo Hidalgo might not have done the best job?
I don't even know who that is, so I will
Okay,
insinuate whatever.
I honestly, I didn't know the story group wasn't dissolved at this point.
So yeah, the canon is pretty much screwed at this point. It's
Yeah.
cool that Marvel
Yeah.
is back.
Star
They're
Wars is actually campfire stories, so like continuity doesn't actually.
that really salts my apples. I mean,
I'm
Sam
sorry,
Witwer is
what?
gonna be in this show, so maybe he'll keep
never heard that one
the
before.
story group in check.
Hopefully, bro. Sam Witwer's like so cool like that. Like, anyway,
The goat. And one thing that I did want to talk about that was important to me was there's a supposed, well, in quotes, a new character that was in the trailers, and they're a Twi'lek.
This is the
And
one. This is the one that I'm not okay with.
No,
People
go
are
on.
saying it's the canon version of Darth Talon, the same way that Thrawn was plucked out of canon and thrown into Rebels. However,
She's the
in-
black and red Twi'lek, right?
yes.
Okay.
Watching the trailer, I don't know if it's just camera quality. She doesn't look that red. She looks almost pink or like magenta. I don't think it could be a version of Darth Talon, like an interpretation of the character. I don't think this is going to be a one-for-one version of Darth Talon.
Oh, I don't think it's gonna be one for one either. But...
I'm almost wondering if, like, the more you go into the dark side, the redder she would become. I don't know.
Like
if that-
essentially kyber crystal.
yeah, like that. Yeah, like a kyber crystal getting corrupted.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah,
You know what's
That'd
it
be
might be the
interesting.
camera
Like,
quality.
dude, I love this. Makes the Rebel story even funnier because, like, not only does Maul just kind of show up in the Ghost Crew story, but like, it makes the Ezra thing even funnier because, like, now we know this is not his first time doing this in the last like 20 years. So when he sees Ezra, he's like, "You're my apprentice now." Like, clearly he's been doing this.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay,
Ezra
that's
was
fair.
at this point his third apprentice because it was Savage, it was
Like, he's
Disney's
just like,
Twi'lek
"You."
character. Yeah.
And technically, Kira. Technically, Kira.
Technically,
I haven't finished that
Kira.
movie. Don't spoil it for me. I'm
Oh.
halfway through.
Oh, sorry,
It's just sitting
sorry.
there on my Disney Plus. But what was I gonna say? I mean, like, me and my neurospicy brain have done a deep dive, like, because when we see Maul in Clone Wars, man has been through it. He is half spider, half Maul, all revenge, and it's just interesting to think about, like, maybe this is giving people too much credit, but, like, is his breakdown in Clone Wars gonna, like, affect how he acts in this, affects how he acts in Rebels, affects, like, just everything, because he's, like, kind of insane. And again, not to, like, bring it back to a book, but if anyone has ever read The Wrath of Darth Maul, it's he got locked up on Mustafar when he was 3, so he's not had it easy. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays a part in how he acts in this show.
I never.
Yeah, that facility on Mustafar was actually owned by Damask Holdings. It was under the ownership of I swear to God, I'm not lying, dude.
No, I know, but it's just actually like with Miles, I never thought of that because I think that delving into Maul's psyche, especially after the Siege of Mandalore, where he tried to stop the rise of Darth Sidious and failing spectacularly, could be such an interesting concept. And because we just assumed that Maul, after the siege, he just tried to scrape back what was left of the Shadow Syndicate, Shadow Collective, excuse me, and the syndicates fell apart because by Solo, the Pikes and the Crimson Dawn were not on very good terms. So it looks like here Maul's still playing chess. I don't know. He's playing his game against the Empire. I would still think it's interesting if this Twi'lek character has a bigger game in mind in terms of trying to go up against Palpatine again. I genuinely don't know.
That could be interesting. Because also, like you said, he is very he's crazy, but he's calculated in his craziness. So I feel like with this mystery side character, like, yeah, we don't know his motives, we don't know his, like, purpose for doing this. So I feel like that could be really interesting to, like, to see if he's going to keep fighting or, whatever he does at Rebels. Like, it'll be interesting to see.
I just assumed that he gave up, and then after Solo, because I would assume Kira in some way usurps him, which I still need to know how she did that. I need to know how Kira dethroned Darth Maul, the first apprentice of Darth Sidious. Because, like, I just assumed that Kira would try to do it and die, but we know from the comics now that Kira not only usurped Maul, but she became the new leader. And I guess Maul just ran away and went to Malachor for some reason. So I still would like to know how she did that. But
That's pretty wild. I
I
didn't know that.
yeah, no, Kira, she's still the leader of Crimson Dawn by the time of the original trilogy and
Beyond now, right?
beyond, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just I'd like to know, how did you manage to go up against Darth Maul? I understand that he's not exactly in his prime anymore because he's obviously, as Miles said, he's kind of deteriorated in his mental state, but I still think even Rebels Maul, like, he put up a pretty good fight against Ahsoka and Kanan.
Two arguably highly trained Jedi.
Yeah, I mean,
Here's a
Kanan
thought.
was.
What if Kira worked with Vader and the Inquisitors to make that happen? You
I
know,
never
like,
thought
what
of that, actually. Wait, because
Maul. Yeah, she could have set him up.
Because Maul has seen Vader, because in Rebels, before, when he's talking with Ezra and he tells him to put the holocron into the thing, he sees Vader's tie, and he gets, like, horrified. So we know he knows of Vader. So I'd like to think that maybe Kira did set him up.
Yeah.
And Vader fought him, he got humiliated, and he ran away. I think that could be a really... like Ross, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, so it won't happen, but you know.
Yeah, maybe, like, who knows? Because maybe if they got like 3 seasons out of this show, maybe we can work our way up to the Solo era.
Yeah,
That's actually something I wanted to talk about. I'm like, do you guys think that this will have multiple seasons?
I think it will at least have 2.
I think.
I don't. I think it's gonna be a one and done.
Really?
I think Miles is
Yeah.
I'm thinking 2 seasons.
I'm
just
thinking
because it's Darth Maul. There's so many people that love Darth Maul. He's one of the most trending Star Wars characters still. And it's been like that since 1999.
I have friends who have who don't know anything about Star Wars and they like Darth Maul.
Yeah.
That's how popular he is. I think that they at least need to get 2 seasons. If they get 1 season out of the show, I will be crushed.
Yeah.
I would I don't expect us to get to the Solo era. I would like us to.
I'd like a time jump. Time jumps
think
are
it would
always a
just
cool
be
thing.
because we don't get that with the animated shows. Like Bad Batch was like a few months at a time. Rebels was a few months at a time.
Clone Wars was a stretch of only 3 years, and that was a long stretch.
I'd love to see Paul Bettany in here.
Because
Joe was saying that to me.
Yeah.
Ross, you bring that up. Clone Wars season 7, we had the Dryden Voss character model.
Yeah.
And they have used. By the way, Caesar Mandalore's budget was insane because they just were throwing around new character models willy nilly. Commander Bly showed up for 3 seconds.
About that. I have a question. So, I came in late to the game on all the animated shows. So, when it originally aired, it was just the first 6 seasons, and then we were left hanging until 2020.
Yeah, season 6 was shipped off to Netflix.
Yeah, so it was the first 5 seasons on Cartoon Network, and then Disney bought Lucasfilm, and then they canceled Clone Wars 2012, and then or 2013, whatever, and then 2014 they put they finished and put the remaining episodes of season 6 that they still hadn't finished on Netflix as leftover episodes season 6, and then that was it for Clone Wars for years until the 2018 announcement.
So glad I came in when I did that.
Ross, that day, 2018, easily, I still think Clone Wars Save is probably the best Star Wars trailer of all time.
It might be. I don't know if I to this day have ever felt like such a renewed sense of hope in humanity and like this planet than that day.
I cried because it wasn't even titled Clone Wars Save. It was just titled Clone Wars Trailer. I remember the title. So vague, and it was just the logo. It was just, and I was expecting this is like a retro throwback, and I clicked it, and it started with a war left unfinished. I just got goosebumps as I said that. A war left unfinished until now, and I just started crying, and then you get that shot of the ARC-170, and then you see Hunter and Rex and Anakin. Just
Yep.
I tear up even just thinking about, like, my voice is cracking. It's that trailer.
Motivation to live, bro, is what it was.
And here's 2018 was a rough time for me. That was literally just, I have to live to see the Mandalore, and it was incredible. And so back to the Siege of Mandalore, they were throwing around character models willy nilly. Commander Bly showed up for all of 2 seconds. He got a completely new model. Looked amazing. I know you were, Ross specifically, you were very excited for that.
I never thought I would see that happen, and then it just randomly there it was.
And yeah, we got Kanan and Depa Billaba. They got retooled for Bad Batch, which was cool to see.
Yeah.
But a lot of the unused models we never got to see. So Dryden Voss is there for them to use, and we know that he's available because he's active at that point in time. So we could very much see him again. And
I also love how Rook Cast is just like a total ride or die, even though like Maul totally left Gar
That's
Saxon and a ton of the
crazy to me.
Mandalorians like just left them there in Sandarian, but Rook Cast is like, yeah, all right. Like,
you
she's
think
still riding with
you
them.
think they're gonna really make her the armorer?
Oh, that
I
would
think it'd
be
be so cool. I think it'd
still
be so
think-
cool.
Dude,
I
you know what
still
I
think
want?
she's the armorer.
I want them to make the armor a non-human. That is all I want. I just want her to be some sort
I
of
never thought about that.
non-human species, because that's actually like a huge fandom, at least in my corner of the fandom, meaning like the gay fandom that ships Bo and the armorer. We always, she's either non-human or she's a person of color, or both.
I think
And
that
I want that to be true, because I feel like all we see are humans or like the same 5 species. And like one of my love shitos, she's a Chandra fan, and they're cute little bat creatures. Like, we could have those. Like, I don't know, man. There's just, again, there's so much to explore, and we're still only focusing on like a small part of it.
I think that it would be cool to at least see the armorer as one of the Shadow Collective Mandos. I think that would still add a lot to her character, but I know that Vanessa Marshall and Emily Swallow believe the theory, because when I met Emily Swallow and I asked her, do you believe the theory that Rook Cast is the armor? And she said, Vanessa and I have both talked about it and we believe it. And
She's awesome.
yeah.
Both
And-
of the, well,
Yeah. I
Vanessa's
never
an
got to meet
absolute
Vanessa
sweetheart.
Marshall. Yeah.
Vanessa Marshall is just
Yeah.
a complete gift. I love Vanessa Marshall, but I'd like to think it was true. I don't think they're gonna confirm it unless they just straight up give Rook like a gold helmet and it's just there you go. But they can do a lot with this. And
oh, sorry, I just had an epiphany about that. So, a lot of people also say that, you know how the horns on the armorer's helmet kind of look like Darth Maul's, like
Mhm.
Zabrak? Like, there's that connection there too. Like, if this Mando is the armorer, is working with Darth Maul, I think that would be really cool to like.
And also they were on Concordia. They were, which is where original Death Watch's original
home
camp
base
was set
sort
up.
of. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just trying to. This is also a question I have. Do you guys think Ventress and Quinlan are going to show up in this?
Yes. Yes. Please, my delusional mind has to keep it up, because Quinlan was mentioned in Kenobi. Ventress is coming back. I was
Quinlan
like,
was in Tales of the Underworld apparently. In the screening, they said Quinlan does show up.
Okay.
So,
Who was Maul fighting? That wasn't there someone with a blue saber in there? It was very blurry.
they have like a arrow. They almost looked like a pike, I think. They had like an arrowhead looking.
Another Order 66 survivor.
I mean, it could be one of the pike, because we do see pikes in the trailer. I think they were pikes. It could just be that one just pulls out like one of Maul's extra lightsabers or something and just tries to fight him and dies. But I would hope that it's a pre-existing character and not another Order 66 survivor, because my first thought was Quinlan, but Quinlan has a green lightsaber, not a blue one.
Mhm.
So
I mean, one could always make the argument that like desperate times, desperate measures, you grab whatever you can find. So it Could be him, but again, I'm delusional. So.
Oh, and if he lost his lightsaber, that would suck. Because you could be right, but that would mean that he had to lose his original one.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Cal lost his. But I would love to see Ventress, because I don't think Ventress is going to die in Tales of the Underworld. I think it would be
I
very
hope
unfair.
not.
They
Be
bring her
really
back just to kill
stupid.
her
I
again.
mean,
Yeah.
even if she
Actually,
does,
kill her
it's not
again,
like
just bring her
death
back
is
again.
dying is clearly not a problem for Asajj Ventress. She's kind of the new Shock T.
Yeah.
You leave Clone Mother out of this.
They clone Mother.
And then Plo is Clone Dad, because
Plo is
we
clone
love him.
Dad. I'd like it if they just bring in all the Night Sisters. I'd like to see Marin. Obviously it's way too early at this point in the timeline, but if we get, like I said, where we just start skipping years, I'd like for Marin and Cal to show up.
100%.
They just bring back Tina Ivlev and Cameron Monaghan to voice them. I think that'd be excellent. I would like to see just the 3 generations of Night Sister and Night Brother. And I'd like to see Morgan Elsbeth, but I don't think it would make sense in universe because she's kind of doing her own thing right now. I know Morgan's actress has expressed interest in wanting to meet Ventress and Marin and Maul, but I don't think technically it makes sense in universe, even though I think it would be cool to see those 4 characters interacting, since they're all technically blood, but they went down so many different paths. Like Marin became a rebel, Maul became a syndicate leader, Marin became I already said Marin. Ventress became a someone who helped children, fugitives, and Morgan became like a cog for like a war machine. I think it's really cool to see these 4, everyone part of the same faction, become 4 very different people.
That's actually a really good point. Like, now I kind of want to see that, but
No 2 of them are the same.
Yeah.
I guess technically Morgan and Maul, but even then they have very different needs. Maul's just trying to survive. Morgan has like a
means to an end. Like, she has an end goal. He's just like,
she just wants to feel powerful because she
I
has.
think we gotta bring Talzin back again, just for the hell of it.
I
Just
don't
like
know
say
about that, man.
she's like a genie. Just have her in a lamp at this point, you know.
I don't know, because I got nervous when the Night Sisters showed up in Ahsoka. I was like, please don't let me know Talzin. And then in the credits it was like one of them was like Mother Clotho or something, and they all had their own names, and I was like, thank God that wasn't Mother Clotho. As
But it
cool
was like
of a character,
the blade of Talzin, though. They were close.
that was still really, I still loved that connection. I
That
thought
was a
that
cool callback. That was great.
such a great callback. I thought that was so like I just like that was the moment I was like, oh, Morgan Elsbeth's actually a cool character. All you had to do was give her face tattoos and a cool sword.
I mean, I liked her going at it with Rosario in was it Mando?
Yeah.
I thought the fight in Mando was fine. But I think the one in Ahsoka was leaps and bounds better.
Well, yes, obviously, but it was cool to see this character, this mysterious character, you know, fighting with Beskar. Like, that was cool. And then Ahsoka dropping the "Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn?" and I flipped a table and I was like, I know that name. I know that guy. That guy's not a good guy. Why is he here? Like, I was really excited about that.
That's still like one of the coolest backdoor pilot episodes. Like I don't even like just that one drop. I remember half the fandom was, oh, who's Thrawn, and then the other half is just people freaking out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take a quick, not intermission, but just break up the monotony with merch reveals. If anyone had any of the merch that they revealed caught their eye.
Loth cats. Loth balls. I'm gonna spend so much money on those little Loth kittens.
The Loth kittens for Ahsoka. Those were cool.
I am not immune to anything that is small, cute, and fluffy.
Did I was mainly referring to like, I think the Loth kittens do count because those are like a peek into the future of
And Dave even said he made them with like merch in mind to make it.
Those are gonna rule the marketing.
which is fine with me. They're so cute.
I like how they're just little spheres with legs. I thought that's a cool little like design choice.
Oh,
But the Black Series line, although I think it's very weird how there were
I didn't know the Crosshair got one.
Vintage Collection Crosshair, Vintage Collection Moff Gideon, Vintage Collection Bantha, which is cool.
I really like that one. That one's cute.
The Bantha's cool. And then for Black Series, we got Dash Rendar, Han Solo and Chewbacca for A New Hope, and then Marin and these are just Marin was the last one.
Did we get a Cal Kestis one? And Turgle?
Yes, Cal and Turgle, which I'm pretty happy with because I like Turgle.
I'll take the Cal one if you don't want it.
Andrew and I actually.
I have called dibs. You can have it if you want.
No, it's
you probably
okay.
like Cal more than I do, honestly.
Yeah. Probably.
I'll let you guys beef it out later. But
Miles, we have to fight to the death now.
Well,
it's like the dark.
It's my time to go. It's my time to go.
But no, I already have a Cal, so I was like, this is cool. I like the Turgle, but I don't need the Cal. And then Andrew and Miles were like, I could just take it from you, and I was like, okay.
I was just mad that they picked the most cursed facial hair.
The handlebar mustache and the mullet is just. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it.
Like, I don't know if that's because they just ran out of other ones to make, or like.
I think it was just because that one was memed so much that they're like, we have to do that. If we need an alternate head, we have to do the handlebar mustache and mullet.
Yeah.
I found it. Okay, I have it in my files. The
Cursed
from Yak Face. So weird, but.
And
That's
that
an
little
Amazon exclusive?
that little freaking plankton bastard that would just show up everywhere on the map
love
somehow.
Scuba Sev was so freaking cool.
I'm telling you, that little plankton bastard, like he was transcending space and time to get around.
He was literally everywhere.
No way. There's no way. Yeah. Like he was opening portals for sure.
I just like that there was a Scuba Steve reference in a Star Wars video game. That was my favorite part.
Scuba, despite breaking teleportation, he was cute. But one thing that I found weird was there was zero merch. There was zero merch for Revenge of the Sith, which I found insane.
Yeah.
Because there were leaks of the Anakin and the Obi-Wan. I don't know if it was a 2-pack, but there was the Chancellor Palpatine and Mace Windu. The
Black Series.
Because
I think my friend found the Anakin and Obi-Wan at Target.
That's what? Okay,
I think.
Because those haven't even been revealed yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Or he found a Obi-Wan and Anakin at Target.
Oh, it may be the archive one, maybe. But there was also like the 327 Star Corps Trooper, the Magna Guard. None of them. There wasn't a single Revenge of the Sith reveal, which I found insane. Like, I remember in London for Return of the Jedi, they were like, the new R2-D2, the new Darth Vader, the new Luke, and then they were just re-releasing so many archive figures, like Royal Guard, Palpatine. And for Revenge of the Sith, you would think they would have something. I was at least expecting Anakin and Obi-Wan, but I was very surprised. And a lot of Hasbro fans were very disappointed, and I don't blame them.
The timing I think is really just not working out with their production because these figures all take like a 1.5 years minimum to get made. I think the timing with these celebrations just doesn't always work out. And I mean, because you look at any of the reveals that Hasbro have done like the last 6 months, and they'll be like, just throwing out crazy stuff like Phase 1, Captain Rex, Armored Anakin, and just like all these really cool figures like Anakin Legacy 3-pack, or I mean, I'm just like, just some of the craziest figures. And then you get to Celebration and they're like, Marin and the OT cast again.
And
welcome to Japan.
Calcastas.
Yeah, like
I think the Marin one is probably the best. I think
for a whole convention.
But it was just a weird convention choice because Survivor's an older game. Well, it's 2 years old. And the third game is yet to be announced. It's coming, but we don't know when. I just thought it was very weird for a convention choice. People were happy to see Marin, which is great. I'm definitely getting her. Of the 5, she's probably the best one. Turgle's pretty cool too. But yeah,
Turtle
I
has a
think
gun.
he does. Well, he
He
has it in the
does!
game, but he never uses it. It's
Yeah.
holstered the whole time. So he
That's
does.
crazy.
It's cool. My boy's strapped. He's not messing around with rabbits.
No. That's
I know
crazy.
I know Miles, I know you have to head out soon, so I do want to talk about Ahsoka season 2.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm cursed with a roommate who goes to bed at 8:30. So
It's okay. We got time. So we're gonna shift gears to Ahsoka season 2 now. I forget. I know that Miles, you're obviously a big Ahsoka show fan.
Yes.
Ross, maybe your opinion has changed, but I remember you really liking
Yeah.
season 1. Yeah, okay. And Eric, where do you lie on the Ahsoka show spectrum?
It's gonna be a hot take. I did not like the Ahsoka show.
Okay.
I did
that's
not
cool.
enjoy it. I have an entire video of it that I took down because I was like, maybe one day I'll be a part of Lucasfilm. Maybe not. Who knows? So I was like, nah, let's take this off. But yeah, I wasn't
okay.
a big fan.
That's all right.
I'm gonna
No,
be completely honest. Okay, you know how Ross calls himself #1 Clone Wars stan? I call myself #1 Rebels stan, and Ahsoka read like Rebels season 5 to me, so I loved it. Like, and the fact that they brought Jason into it and made him kind of like a big-ish part of it. He's
Jason
one of my
was the
favorite
big-
characters because
Jason
I
was
too
the
wish
biggest
Harrison Dula was my
surprise.
mom. So yeah, I don't know.
And
I really liked it.
And I know Andrew, you're like in the middle. Like you didn't love it, you didn't hate it.
Yeah, Ahsoka, well, I have a very complicated relationship with Ahsoka, but the generally right now I'm roughly at like a 6 or 7 out of 10 for season 1, but I have like major issues with it in a lot of ways.
That's totally cool.
Yeah, I'd say I'm around there maybe now.
Okay. So season 2 got a my buddy Kevin's in the chat. What's up?
Kevin, Obi-Wan himself.
The season 2 got way more news than I was expecting. I was expecting the Balin recast announcement, which was people were the rumors were Rory McCann was going to be taking over for Ray Stevenson, who of course passed away unfortunately, but I was expecting that. I was not expecting photos.
Yeah, and I heard that Rory and Ray were really close friends. So after I heard that, like I felt a lot better about the situation because for me, I've gotten a chance to talk with Ivana a couple of times about her relationship with Ray and especially filming. And she's always said like she still talks to his kids, like she's still super close to them. So I was really worried like how she was gonna handle it. And that kind of made me like not upset, but just like cautiously optimistic. But now that I heard that Ray and Rory were really close, I'm like, okay, I feel better about this. Like I'm actually like getting hyped and getting excited for it.
And
Yeah.
he talked to Ray Stevenson's family too before even accepting the role, right? Is that what I heard, or
I
was
think
it
so,
that
yeah.
Filoni went to Ray Stevenson's family first?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The latter.
Oh, okay.
I just think that's really sweet. And the photos just like they took me back because I think we can all agree that Balin was one of the best parts of Ahsoka season 1.
Yep.
He's an enigma and I just want to know more. Like again, for me it's like we see the end. I want to know the middle and the beginning. So hopefully
I'm sure we'll get tales of the dark side or something for Balin at some point. It's gotta come. It's overdue.
And even in at the end of the Ahsoka show, we see like the world between worlds, or like we see the Mortis gods and a nod to the world between worlds. And I think that could also like maybe I don't know if any of you guys remember Rebels, we see like portals of different things happening, like Kanan's death or whatever. Like I wonder if maybe if Balin is going to see the Mortis gods, like are we going to see different points in his life? And that could be cool to see too.
That'd be a cool way of giving like a Balin origin, like he's walking through like portals of his past. That'd be a really cool way of tying that in.
Because I have like 1,000,001 headcanons about him and his relationship with Shin. So like it'll be interesting to see if anything gets confirmed.
I just want to know where the hell he's been. I mean, just another majorly
Yeah.
powerful Force user who just drops off the star maps for decades at a time. Like the list of these Force users is growing, dude, and Balin's on it.
I think with Balin, it makes sense for him to just sit it out. Like, he can just see the Galactic Civil War is not my problem, and him and Shin are just in the unknown regions training and basically saying, this is not our fight. We don't need to step in. And I'm sure maybe he heard about Luke, but he just couldn't bring himself to care.
But he's a mercenary, right? And he's trying to make money, at least at the start of the series.
I could see him. I don't know. Well, I mean, because he says he was paid for the role, but I'm sure they'll at some point explain it. I would like for a little bit of elaboration onto what he was doing. Because like he couldn't have been openly using that lightsaber for jobs, because why would the Empire not go after him?
Maybe they did, and he just ended it all.
He was too good at it.
Maybe.
I mean, at
I
this
don't know,
point,
man.
Although, wouldn't the New Republic have learned about them at some point then, if that were to be the case?
Maybe.
I mean, well, because in Ahsoka, when they first make their appearance, they think they're Jedi, right? Like, they don't know who they are.
Well, that's
mean,
right.
I mean,
guess
it's not
that's kinda
that
what I
hard
mean.
to keep under the radar when, you know, things are going so chaotic with, like, trying to, like, stop the Empire or stop, like, the little pockets of what's left. And as we see in Ahsoka, Hera is, and, like, what's that council that she meets with that awful human being?
Ziona, the Defense Council.
Yeah. We should have let Chopper go at him.
Season 2.
But, like,
let's see what happens.
I mean, Chopper's got a gun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whose idea
we're
was
gonna
that,
talk
to give
about
the war
that. I
criminal a
promise.
gun? I love that though.
Well, yeah, and Dave said that he's going to be more animated, right? So, I mean, that'd be so funny.
We're gonna
he's just
talk
doing like
about
the
that.
one wheel thing where he's like dual wielding the guns.
In Rebels, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll look great if they're able to pull that, because
Okay.
Hu Yang looks so cool and he's completely practical. If they manage to pull off like the chopper when he's doing like the one wheel.
Isn't K2 also practical?
K2 is fully CGI. It's motion capture with Alan
Motion.
Tudyk. But
Yeah.
the
Speaking of
character
which,
is fully
2 days till Andor. I'm so hyped.
I am not ready. I still
We're
gotta watch The Last of Us.
I like
That's
Andor
true.
and Last
We
of
all
Us
watching
is
Last
gonna
of Us
be-
after this?
Yeah.
Joe said that we're all Last of Us fans. Yeah.
We're all. I think everyone here's
Dude,
a
we
Last
should-
of Us fan. We're just
We
all
should
gonna
make a
be.
video about it. I'm having like
Is there anyone here who hasn't played the games though?
I have not.
I
I
played
know
the
what
Okay.
happens.
I
with them,
know
but
the
haven't played.
spoilers.
Oh, I know
Okay.
what's
Everyone
gonna
needs to help me like bully Joe into playing the games.
Just-
Play the games, Joe.
Play the games, Joe.
Play them.
Peer
what I'm
pressure,
saying is-
Joe.
Yeah,
Honestly,
dude.
This is probably Last of Us is probably going to be like Rebels for me, where after the death happened, it took me 3 weeks to pick up
The
Rebels
death.
again and start watching. 3 weeks. I kid you not, because I was so flippin' sad about his death.
Yeah,
So
that's.
I think that, and people are saying
Even
it's going to
knowing
happen
it's
in tonight's
coming.
episode too. I'm like, no.
Even knowing it may happen, it may have already happened because it came out an hour ago.
Oh, it did.
Oh, yeah, no, I
it
think
did.
it's
He's
done.
gone. He's
Yeah,
gone.
no, he's gone.
I made my mom watch season 1 and she had to tap out, and she was saying like, Joe, if anything happens to Pedro Pascal, I'm actually like never speaking to you again. I was I tell her about season 2.
You don't.
We
That's
don't.
pretty
Yeah,
funny.
no, but yeah, it's just nice to see Balin like continuing on the legacy. I got so taken aback with Rory in the costume, but it was great. And
Someone said that Rory McCann has a type, and it's grumpy girl dad. And I
he's
am
the
here
Hound in
for
Game of
it.
Thrones, right?
Yeah, with him in Game of Thrones and him in this, and I guess him in Transformers also. I guess he voices Megatron in Transformers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he was like two of my friends actually were saying that he is the epitome of a grumpy girl dad.
Oh my god, he's in Earthspark, isn't he? I just realized
Yeah,
that. Okay,
think so.
all right. I'm a big Transformers guy.
Yeah.
This is one thing I want to go over with Ahsoka that got me very intrigued, and it's that they have completely overhauled their makeup and costume designers, and the entire
Didn't
LA
Shauna work on season 1 and she's no longer with us either?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
entire team in LA is gone, and the UK is taken over because they're filming in the UK. So I I that means that essentially, since they're now not using those costumes, they're completely using new ones. And I've heard that apparently most of the characters are getting redesigns. Not night and day. It's gonna be like Ahsoka and Mando season 2 over to Ahsoka, where you, not even counting the Leku, where the costume is technically different, but you can't tell the tinier things. And I heard that Thrawn and Hera specifically are getting makeup redesigns, which I'm not entirely against. I thought they looked
Well,
good, but
I think the major issue people had with Hera is her Leku, and the same thing with Ahsoka. And it's like, I understand where they're coming from, but they have to realize it's not going to look the same as animation, because in animation you can get away with so much more than you can in live action.
yeah, I would agree.
I think Hera genuinely looked great in live action. Like,
I think so too.
I'm fairly critical of a lot of Mandoverse things. I thought Hera looked great.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were upset about the contacts most of all. That's what I remember hearing the most about.
But also, to be
Yeah.
fair, blue contacts on brown eyes is hard. As a contact wearer myself,
Yeah.
blue contacts on brown eyes is hard. Not to mention contacts that are blue enough to be seen through the screen.
I
So like,
my
it's
thing
like
is
kind
like,
of what they had to do.
I don't know if the contacts were necessary, but they don't bother me as much as like they bother some other people. I just think
Yeah.
that it's funny that like Dave has such crazy attention to detail with that, and then it's like this person's like, you know, like Amon is like the perfect Ezra, but it's like, throw the contacts on this man that the audience won't buy it, and then he'll be like, just wreck on the hell out of like a bunch of other books. It's just, he just has very like
what he picks and chooses to keep.
yeah, he just has very selective like
Yeah.
you know priorities when it comes to canon. But
So, Andrew, you mentioned before that Chopper's going to be more animated. That is true to a degree, because apparently in the panel, the characters that got the most quote unquote revisions are Chopper and Enoch. Like they specifically singled those two out. And they said it was for not aesthetic purposes, but for stunt purposes, which got me really excited, because I am an Enoch truther. I believe that Enoch has a lot of potential, and I really hope they don't Captain Phasma him. So maybe that got, and also the concept art, he's kicking ass. He's going around with his squad of night troopers, tearing through Hera's forces, and he's
watch them just like Knights of Ren it. They all die in like 3 seconds.
Oh
my
Andrew,
God.
don't say that, please.
That would be crazy, wouldn't it?
I'm very excited for Enoch, because the fact that they're completely redoing the costume has me very excited. And the teaser with the concept art, I thought, I just watched it like an hour ago before we actually started the stream. They went full, not an hour ago, 2 hours ago. It was just a straight up like Clone Wars recap, where it was like a retro Star Wars trailer with like the Tom Kane.
Well, yeah, because they haven't filmed anything, so
Yeah.
Dave was like,
just
here, like, yeah.
That was a
yeah.
funny dude. That I think was the epitome of Celebration Japan right there. Was that reel that Dave showed? It was just like, here's a fun and in a galaxy far, far away, like, you know, Saturday morning cartoon montage of here are the characters. Here's what's gonna happen. It was fun. It was fun, but like, I'll never, like, that's forever the first look at Ahsoka season 2, though. You know.
Mhm.
It was. I feel like at the very least they should have announced who's going to be playing the canon, like the live action Mortis gods. I think that would have.
I have some thoughts.
I mean, Sam Witwer was already there. They could have did it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're there.
Because
We're
isn't
talking about
isn't
that?
he the
Yeah.
son?
You know, Sam
He's one of
Witwer
them.
plays. He voices the son in the
He
movie.
does
Yeah,
voice
that's what
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They could very well get Sam Witwer to play him.
If
I
they're
would-
bringing the
Yeah.
Mortis gods back,
If they're
it's
bringing
gotta
the
be
Mortis
Witwer.
gods back, and the chances of Starkiller being in it are like slim to none, I say cast Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and even then, like him playing the son doesn't rule out Starkiller ever appearing in canon again, because he'll have to put on all that makeup. So they can. I mean, Clancy Brown played Ryder in Ahsoka, the Governor of Lothal, and then he also was that random character in The Mandalorian. He was
Yeah.
that.
Okay, I
Sure.
wasn't crazy. I thought that was him.
He's played 2 characters in live action.
Okay,
So like,
one of the comments is also talking about Abeloth and how the fandom has like created this rumor about Shin becoming Abeloth, and I'm just like,
oof, that could absolutely happen, and I'm really
no,
excited to see what they do with Shin because she easily.
as long as she
That's one of my biggest things going into this, where I'm like, Shin has so much potential, but like right now is basically just like a non-character. She's just there. She barely has traits, and I'm like, give her something to do, please. Like,
also
Yeah,
like
not knowing the first thing about her really sucks.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like he has so much potential for like I don't know, like I just feel like she's literally like blank slate the character right now. And I
I
mean that
don't
gives them potential, like that gives them a lot of opportunities. I just don't know if they'll take any of them.
yeah, and that's also like again maybe it's just my flavor of neurodivergence, but like when I like a character, I like to like psychoanalyze them, and from what I've seen, I feel like Shin is I don't know how a better way to say this, but Shin is nothing without Balin. Balin has been part of her whole life. The way she like formed this attachment to him. And so when he leaves her and he like goes off to who knows where, she seems very like in the middle and she seems very confused and she's very like, now what? At least that's a vibe I got. So like you said, she is pretty
No, I
much a
agree
blank
completely. Yeah.
yeah, she's pretty much a blank slate at this point. And I know there was a moment in season 1 where Ahsoka kind of like extended the olive branch. I was like, come with us, if I'm remembering correctly. I think so. And so it'll be interesting to see her kind of wrestle with her inner turmoil because from what I gather, she has known nothing but like this anger and this like intensity from Balin, and now she's kind of like, what do I do now? So it'll be cool to see.
And there's one of the concept art pictures is her going up against Hu Yang with 4 lightsabers, and that's just
General
crazy.
Grievous?
He literally he's doing the Grievous pose of the 4 extended hands. So, I
That'll be
mean,
interesting.
that'll be cool to
General
see.
Hati.
Oh my
Also,
God.
we also got confirmation that Admiral Akbar is going to be coming in, which is cool.
People are mad about that too, of all
Why?
things.
Do I think it's the greatest choice they could have made? No. Is it worth getting angry over? Also no.
I mean, he was in season 1 of Ahsoka. He was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, he was.
It's like never not funny though. He was totally in season 1, but like it's never not funny how he's gonna be like going into war against Thrawn and then just like 30 years later blown out of the side of a ship.
It'll
Well, also, I guess I'm just like, I don't really see.
Like
Maybe it's 2 different like groups of people who are like arguing about this, but like everyone, a good amount of people hated it in Last Jedi when he like didn't get to do anything, and now it kind of feels like they're still getting hate when they address that and are like, okay, here he gets to go up against like Thrawn. So
yeah.
I don't know.
No, that vocal majority or vocal minority, I should say, is the epitome of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because I feel like they're never going to be happy. So
I mean, I never liked. I mean, I never not that I didn't like Akbar, but I never really loved him as a character. He was a meme. Like he wasn't that.
yeah,
And honestly, I'm excited to see him in Ahsoka because like this is the chance to make him an actual character. You can actually get to see his personality a little more because he was in Return of the Jedi for like all of 1 minute, and he had some episodes in Clone Wars where he helped liberate Mon Cala. And I think the Clone Wars episodes are the most we see of him as a character, and I think this is their chance to kind of see him as like a great tactician and a war hero who survived 3 generations. Well, not survived, but went through 3
Oh, yeah.
generations of war. And I don't know, like I think it could make his death either more impactful in The Last Jedi or a little more frustrating because now it's like now I like Akbar and now I'm annoyed that he didn't do anything.
It is funny the way he goes out and everything in Last Jedi, but like at the end of the day, it is hypocritical to say because a lot of characters in Star Wars have anticlimactic deaths. You look at Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One himself, he just dies on like a boarding ramp in like the middle of a hangar somewhere. I mean, like, you know,
All the
it's a
Jedi in Order
commonplace thing.
66. Yeah.
Yeah.
Padme just loses the will to live.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
mean,
dude,
same,
you know,
but like,
I'm so glad you brought up Padme, because that's actually a thought that I've. Speaking of great ideas that'll never happen, Abeloth, if she were to happen, taking the form of Padme to spite Anakin.
that would be
my
cool.
God.
Well,
To
okay.
bring Natalie Portman back as that character
Yeah.
would
Wait,
be a
because Dave said
crazy
he
guys-
and
wanted
wait,
cool
Natalie
idea.
Portman. Wait,
have you guys read the I think it's the Darth Vader 2020 run where Sabe comes back dressed as Padme just to fuck
Yeah,
with Vader?
yep.
Like the pettiness, first of all, love that. 10
Yeah.
out of 10. Would recommend. But to have that be on a grander scale, like of who I assume is like a pretty intense villain from the pictures that I've seen. I know nothing about her, just gonna be completely honest, but that would be really cool to see. Like,
I
just-
think if not
I like
Natalie
that.
Portman, maybe Ashley Eckstein. I think that'd be a very impactful.
please
Yeah.
put the woman in live action. She deserves it.
Because I've talked with her when Miles and I met her in Rhode Island in November, and I went up to her and I said, who would you want to be if Dave gave you the option to play a live action character? And she kind of just froze and she said, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I said, like, because Dave has his, like, he likes giving people cameos as X-Wing pilots. You could have. I still think when Ahsoka is saved in Shadow Warrior and pulled out from the water, I feel like Ashley Eckstein should have been one of those X-Wing pilots. I think that would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
Instead, it was just, I think it was just the stunt double for Sabine, or it was Brendan Wayne, I forget. But it was
I
just,
think it was totally Brendan Wayne. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like, I remember you said in your video, Ross, it should have been Trapper Wolf. And like, it could have been, that would have been good, but it should have been like him or Ashley playing that, because it would have been such a great moment. But I would love to see her, because Ashley is just such an incredible character, and we've gotten Matt Lanter as that guy that Mayfeld shoots in
Yeah.
The Mandalorian. So, and obviously, like, Clancy Brown got to reprise his role in from Rebels into Ahsoka. So,
Speaking of that, have you heard Vanessa Marshall campaign for her to be Mara Jade?
I have heard that, and I think that's a pretty good casting choice. But I just,
Speaking of like live action or voice acting cameos, I just want everyone to be in it.
yeah, I don't know. Ashley better be in Ahsoka season 2. I'll be just she better, if not the Thrawn movie or something.
Yeah, I also would love to have her have an on-screen moment with Rosario, because it would be sweet.
Something small, Ahsoka like briefing the pilots before they go off to war, and giving one of them a nod, and one of those pilots is Ashley's character. Like, that'd be more than enough for me. I'll be satisfied.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm also excited to see, because Rosario said that apparently Thrawn does some very messed up things,
Love that.
which is really exciting, because I didn't think we would have. I thought we would have to wait until the movie to see him declare war on the galaxy, but him starting off, it's exciting. It's horrifying, because it's almost like, what does he have planned? I've seen people theorize that, like, Atten may have something to do with it, where he needs, like, the mint to kind of fund his army, which
That'd
could
be
be
cool.
that'd be a great way to kind of bring in the Skeleton Crew cast. But I just,
Oh my god, sorry.
Thrawn,
Now I'm just
Thrawn
picturing,
can't
like,
be messing around anymore. Like, Thrawn needs to be like fully Thrawn, like tipping Star Destroyers on their side, and like, you know, I mean, doing like full blown strategy. Like, I want to see like peak Thrawn now. Like, we've been dancing around this since 2017. Like, it's time.
Yeah.
because in Rebels it was, let's let them get away, let's let them have their victory for now. And then in Ahsoka, it was, actually, we have time on our side, which I actually thought in Ahsoka that was cool. However, I would like a little bit more.
These are acceptable losses, given the absence of one Balin Skoda.
I think the amount of times he said an acceptable outcome, I was like, okay, bro, we get
we
it.
could play a drinking game.
Like, I remember when in the Bad Batch, when Omega escaped, and Hemlock said something like, a minor setback. People were like, "Wait, that's Thrawn's line. That's not Hemlock. That's not yours to say."
We need to
But-
start saying acceptable outcome in our lives, dude. Like that's a line. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ross. I would like for Thrawn to do a bit more. I do think that from Rebels to Ahsoka, there was a noticeable improvement in his writing and the game of chess that he plays. But I would like them to get a little more ambitious, because my issue with characters that are smart is that when you say the character's like intelligence is that they can just anticipate anything, that essentially means that the character you've written is now smarter than you, meaning that no decision you can make in the writing can possibly compare to what the character can actually do in theory. And it almost sets you up for failure. There are exceptions to the rule, like I think Palpatine in the prequels is a pretty good exception, but it's an intimidating feat to say this character is very smart and that's their skill. So I'm excited to see what Thrawn can do in this season that will make him so formidable, because he's essentially this generation's Thanos now, where he's now this villain that's being built up through this grand finale. And I don't know if they can do it. I would love for them to do it, because I think a character who was started out in books to animation to TV to a movie is so ambitious and incredible, but I would like for them to put it, to do justice with that concept.
I just hope they save enough for Heir to the Empire, right? That's kind of like my big question with Ahsoka season 2 is like they can't go all the way because you still got a movie to do, dude.
I would hope that they don't blow their load a little too early, and it's like, well, Thrawn's already like bombarded cities and he's gone, and like there are stormtroopers fighting on the hulls of star destroyers, and like I would hope that they don't like by the time we get to the movie it's like, well, Thrawn's already done everything, and it's like all that's left is like he's gonna invade Chandrilla with like a Night Sister zombie army or something, which I'm sure that'll be cool, but I don't know.
Dude, I would love to see if imagine like Moff Gideon clones, like a whole battalion of them just showed up and was like, "You didn't get me, bro. Like I had more down in the. You didn't go.
It's
you
like
didn't go to
Thrawn's
the real basement."
Thrawn's trying to like find a way to outsmart Hera and Admiral Akbar, and Moff Gideon clones show up like, "You killed my father," and he's like, "This is the last thing I need right now, dude."
But they're like right out of the vat, like in his underwear. They're just like running at him, like
Bro, it's like they just have him getting like jumped by Moff Gideon clones, like the like Reanimen in Invincible.
I was
They're
thinking
using the
the
Force,
same thing. The same thing, man.
That'd be great. Also Pelion. I think
that guy's gonna be dead by the time they film Heir to the Empire. There's no way.
how old is the actor?
I don't know, but it doesn't look good.
Wait, I am.
Who are we talking about?
It's
The
okay.
actor who plays Captain Pelion, if he'll even get to the movie, because it's such a great cast. Like he looks exactly like the drawings from the books, but
Yeah, but the filming of that movie is not soon.
I mean it's not coming out until like 2030. Like there's no way.
He's not making it. Yeah,
Captain Pelion actor.
it's okay, guys. I'm already like,
Xander
however-
Berkeley. You guys are like actually going. Miles, was there anything else you wanted to say about Ahsoka while I'm stalling for time? Oh, he's not even 70.
Is he really not? Wow.
He's
That's
69 years
There
old.
surprising.
is something else I want to talk about though, and it's not so much with Ahsoka specifically, but with just shows lately in general. I'm kind of miffed about the 8-episode seasons.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's the most annoying thing that
It
we
is,
have
and it's like
all-
it. But if
Yeah.
each episode were like 45 minutes to an hour, I'd be okay with it. Well, sometimes we're getting like 30-minute episodes, and I'm like,
Yeah. It's
what
not
are you
great.
doing? Like,
Each Skeleton Crew episode was like on average 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me, like, and I'm not complaining by any means. I mean, quite the opposite. But it's so funny to me that Andor is the only one that gets to stick to the 12 episodes. I mean, everything else is 8 or 6 or like
Yeah.
7.
I want to know what
like,
goes through their head when they're doing that. Like, not to say that I don't love Andor.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, Andor is so great, and I kind of wish that more things got the same, treatment. But I don't know. What's Andor's budget, by the way? Because like,
it's the most expensive one by far.
Speaking of that, I know I showed this to Joe, but Rebecca Henderson is nothing if not petty. And after the Andor panel happened at Celebration, she made a post on her story that was like, "How much did Andor cost? 290K? Question mark? Dot dot dot. If you know, you know." And I'm like, girl, like you're not wrong, but like, girl, why would you say that?
Yeah.
It's like Andor. I mean, Andor, I think, was widely agreed upon. Oh my god, it was 600 million across 2 seasons. Okay.
Like, I get it.
I mean, I think in that case, it absolutely paid off. I'm just genuinely curious because they didn't know that it would pay off immediately, and so they were like 290 million for Andor, 90 million for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, I don't know who was over there making those decisions, but I mean, not that I would take away Andor's budget because Andor's great.
Well, the thing is with Andor is most of that budget went to taxes to film their locations because they were on set in the UK.
Yeah.
And the UK has very high like tax rates for filming on location. So most of that didn't even go towards the show. It was just the ability to it was just the ability to actually film.
Other countries too. I think they went to Spain a couple times. Even in season 2, I think there was some stuff that was filmed in Spain.
Yeah, that was the majority of the budget. It had nothing to do with the visual effects, which, like, granted, Andor's easily the best looking of any of the Disney Plus shows, and honestly, any of the Netflix shows. I would say maybe next to Loki. But it's so weird how that the Andor's the only one that knows how to disperse its budget in a timely, in an effective manner.
Mm-hmm.
And
all right, that's gonna be my last piece. I have to go, but
have a great night, Miles. It was so nice having you.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice. Well, I met you at Rhode Island, but nice talking to you again.
Did we?
Very, very, very briefly.
Oh, that explains it. I didn't even know what day it was. I hadn't slept properly. Yeah, so took a red-eye flight, went straight to the con. It's great. Anyways, goodbye.
Nice meeting you, Miles.
Bye, Miles. But I do think, though, even though Miles is gone, it does leave the question of, like, you have shows like The Boys, Fallout, The Last of Us, where those shows also have 8 episodes. However, they're pushing like. But, oh wait, Andrew, sorry, you can go.
What? Oh no. All I was saying is, isn't Last of Us 9?
Oh, Last of Us is 9. I'm sorry. So even then, with like The Boys and Fallout, those are 8 episodes. However, they're pushing like an hour each. It's not.
Well, and even Last of Us was 9. Plus, some of them were like an hour 20. Isn't the one that dropped today like an hour 20?
Yeah. So it's.
Jeez.
The show is not like those shows are not as expensive as the Disney Plus one. So it's weird how it's like some of the Disney Plus episodes, you're lucky to get at least one episode that reaches 50 minutes, not including the credits. Like, I think Mandalorian, I think, had one episode a season that was 50 minutes. And even when you take away the credits, it goes down to like 40 something. So it's weird. Like Book of Boba, I think, had a couple. The Acolyte had no. I think the longest one was like 40 minutes or something. Like,
yeah, Acolyte did not use its time very well.
I don't know where. Yeah, the time, it was easily like one of the worst paced shows I've ever seen. But it's so weird, and I don't know why it's an issue where the shows have this mandate of it needs to be 40 minutes on average. And
is that an actual? Oh yeah, no, because they.
No, I'm saying like theoretically, like.
Well, no. I think Well, I don't think it's like a hard mandate, but I do remember them talking last year because in between 4 and 5, I remember some people were really mad that Kelnaka died, and they were like, "Great, you introduced a Wookiee Jedi, and we don't even get to see him fight," which obviously ironic. But and one of the showrunners came out and said that like there were certain things that made it so they couldn't do anything with Kelnaka in episode 4, and one of those was like length, so they had to like, you know,
That was weird because that episode was like 25 minutes or something.
yeah, I don't know. Episode 4, like they do nothing in episode 4, and it was like,
Yeah,
They walk around the woods, and then the stranger shows up and force pushes them.
yeah, pretty much.
Nothing happens in that episode, so it was weird. It's like it was such an odd thing, and I'm not even sure if it's like they cut so many scenes or if it's the script where they need to cut the script down.
That's just in general something that like we very rarely get deleted scenes from like any Disney Plus show, and I think that's weird.
And we know there are, because like in Mando season 2, we know that Greef Karga met Boba Fett, because there's a scene of him coming down on Navarro, and Greef is like, "Oh my god, another Mando," and Boba's like showing off his gear. So
Yeah,
we know there are deleted scenes.
yeah,
but
it's just
I
weird.
didn't know about that one.
In the Mando season 2 featurette, when they're talking about Boba, he comes down the ramp of Slave 1, and Greef Karga's like reacting like he gets like really excited, and Fennec's next to him, and Boba's like showing off his blaster. I would assume it was going to be like what ended like chapter 6, where they're like, "Oh, this is our crew," and then it's like a big like trailer moment where Boba steps out and he's like got the blaster and everything.
See, that's interesting because it's like genuinely, unless I'm forgetting something, the only deleted scenes that I can remember getting from a Disney Plus show were like Hawkeye.
I think that was only because of the way that like Hawkeye was filmed, because that show.
Well, because they kind of, I think that they butchered that show in the editing room because they saw how popular WandaVision was, and then they tried to make the Kingpin reveal a thing, even though
it only made the show and Kingpin so much worse.
Yeah.
Hey, could you guys imagine if, like, in Daredevil Born Again, he just, like, put on the Hawaiian shirt and started, like, dancing around with a cane and the hat?
I was waiting for it, actually.
That
Could you
genuinely
Made no sense.
It's like, because people will say it's fine because it fits it he wore it in the comics, but like, yeah, but it doesn't fit this version of the character.
Comics does not make it good.
It's so because it's like the reason we never see Fisk wearing that in the Netflix show is because it doesn't fit this aesthetic of the character. Like, imagine if he shut the car door and that guy's face wearing that shirt. It wouldn't have been good.
Yeah,
So,
he would have been in one of those exchanges where, like, all right, Madam Gao and Nobu, you're going to take me seriously now, despite this outfit I'm wearing. Like, this is fine.
I'm about to go on holiday.
Yeah.
like,
I've missed my flight.
yeah, Hawkeye was the only show that had deleted scenes, and I think it's because those scenes were so integral to the story that they realized, oh no, we can't, this show doesn't work anymore because we deleted half the footage, so we need to release it now for people to think, oh, Kingpin was always supposed to be part of the show.
I guess, I don't know, to me that would just make it worse. Like if you're basically just like showing everyone the footage that like should have been in the show and being like, yeah, we cut this. Haha.
I mean, it wasn't
Like,
exactly a secret that.
well, no,
Kingpin
I know,
was
but at the same time, like it's not exactly a secret that Rise of Skywalker was like re-edited to hell, and they still haven't done that. So I don't really.
the
Still
only
waiting for
Star
the
Wars-
Webbish bug.
We're never seeing the Weebish bug ever.
Yeah.
I'm still pissed we never got to see that Kylo and Chewie scene from the
We-
that's in the
we
Didn't
were
they
novelization.
really-
film it? They
We were really
filmed-
going to replace Darth Tenebris with the Weebish Bog or whatever the hell. Oh my god.
Honestly, I'm kind of happy they cut that because I don't. Think
I'm
that.
I'm still mad. I'm still mad that they cut it though.
It's
Not playing
it looked
that.
cool. It just, I don't know if it would have.
Made no sense.
It was weird, but I feel like it at least would have been interesting to see. And also part of that too, like they even have the footage. They even have like pictures of this in the visual dictionary of like Pride and Hux both together, like on Mustafar as Kylo's like cutting down.
That would have further
what,
established like
Astarian?
Pride and Hux's relationship. Like, I don't think it would have saved the.
It wouldn't have, but it's still cool
Yeah.
because Hux, like they quote, like it's so funny because like these lines were so clearly meant to be in the movie, it must have got cut last minute because they're in the visual dictionary.
They are
Where-
the
Yeah, they
galaxy
are.
in flames, and he
Yeah,
chases
where Hux is like,
ghosts.
"Oh, the galaxy's in flames," and Ren chases a ghost, and it's like, that's cool. Don't know why that's missing.
That movie had to be like 3 hours, and then they were like, this people will like, it won't do well, because it's like a movie in 2019 that's 3 hours long. A movie like that would never make any money.
I've never seen a film made so begrudgingly, like apart from Rise of Skywalker and then like Thor: Love and Thunder. I've never seen movies
That's
just
so
made
good.
out of obligation like that before those two.
Mhm.
Love and Thunder was just an enigma because it's so, because I know you're not the biggest Ragnarok fan, but it's just
Oh, but I'm even less of a Thor: Love and Thunder fan. But hey, it's okay because Taika Waititi's still getting his movie. Didn't they announce it in like 2020? And
I
we're
I'm
still
pretty
sitting
sure
don't-
it
here.
was before. I
It's-
think it was
it's sitting in the
2019
same
they
like
announced it.
spot as the Ryan Johnson trilogy.
I
Like-
don't
like
know why he's
two-
not in director jail.
2025, Kathleen Kennedy comes out up on that stage and is like, "Yeah, guys, this is for sure still happening." But
I wish
5 years later,
I would have loved it if she was like, someone in the audience was like, "Can you name all of them?" And she's like, "I lost count."
like just don't bring them up, dude. Just don't do that. Like just talk
You-
about what's actually going on, dude.
If
You saying they're coming makes me believe less that they're coming.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, my rule with Star Wars productions is like it's not happening until they roll in cameras. Period.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah,
why I'm looking forward to Starfighter.
Like
that's why
They're not rolling cameras, so I don't know.
they're not.
I'm hoping. Well, that's why I'm happy that they're starting production this year and not next year. Because if they started next year and after the Mandalorian
Dude,
inevitably doesn't do well.
you never know. I mean, keep in mind the Rey movie was supposed to be before Mando and Grogu, so like,
remember
Yeah.
when the Rey movie was
Oh,
announced and they're like, this is the triumph, like Rey will be leading in the next era of Star Wars movies, and this will be, and now they're like, no, actually it's Mando and Grogu, and now they're like, actually no, it's Starfighter. Like, what happened? Like, I legitimately feel bad for Daisy Ridley because she's up there as one of the most mistreated Star Wars actors. It's
like-
insulting. If I were her, I would be insulted, and that's not an exaggeration.
what's the list? Like her, Tamura Morrison,
Those two.
John Boyega, arguably, and then
Kelly Marie Tran,
probably yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
probably yeah.
Ahmed Best, Jake
The girl
Lloyd.
from
Well, are we talking-
Amandla Stenberg?
Are we talking from fans or are we talking from creatives? Because
I was mainly
Oh.
thinking studio, but if
I was
we're-
thinking everything.
If we're including fans, it's like Amandla, at best, but
Yeah.
like Ross said. But
Yeah.
I think Tamir and Daisy are easily in the top two as the most mistreated actors. It's if I were Daisy, I would be I would not even borderline just plain insulted. It's just if she doesn't like. I remember saying, I told Andrew this: if there's no news on the Rey movie, not even like were an update release date, another cast announcement like, hey, John Boyega will also be in it. I said if there's no news, the movie is doomed. And true to my word, I do think the movie is in danger. It is like,
Oh, don't say that, please don't say. that.
I'm sorry, but like I like Rey. As much as I hate Rise of Skywalker, I think that Rey deserves her chance at redemption, because if we just threw characters out after they were hated, we never would have gotten like Ahsoka. We never would have gotten Ezra and Sabine in live action, because I know Ross and I aren't the biggest Rebels fans, but we got
Me neither.
we got them in live action, and I thought they were incredible.
They're
And
great in live action, dude. I got no issues with them in live action. I freaking love it.
easily one, and like I get like this isn't me trying to like downplay like Tia Scar and Taylor Gray, but Natasha Liu is like one of the kindest people I've ever met, and it's like with date, because I know when people say like, oh, we don't need a Rey movie because Rey's ruined, it's like, well, let's calm down for a minute, because if we did this with every character, we never would have gotten like, if Ahsoka was thrown out after the Clone Wars movie, the franchise would be in such a different state. It would be unrecognizable. for better
Yeah.
and for worse. Say what you want about Ahsoka's treatment, but it's crazy. So it's like that's why I was such a big advocate for the Rey movie, because I said this movie has so much potential, and Charmin, I can't pronounce her last name, is a very talented a very talented director. But this, I guess they saw that some people were upset that Rey was going to come back, and they are just going to quietly cancel it like they did with.
I honestly don't think that I don't think that if it gets canceled, it's going to be a matter of them giving into hate. I think it's just going to be like production incompetence, like it has been for a lot of things.
Yeah, it's because I will always Charmin Obanod choice. Someone put it in the chat. Thank you. But yeah, it's so weird to me how the biggest franchise in the world cannot get a movie out unless it has The Mandalorian in it, and it's weird because I think it's just because after the Rise of Skywalker and Solo, they're just like, we don't know. We genuinely are so afraid, and I think what happens is they go to the executives, they say, here's our script, and this is what we want, and then the executives get nervous, and they say, well, it doesn't have A, B, C, and D in it, and the writers stand their ground and say, no, this is how I want to do it, and they say, well, then it's not happening, and it's unfortunate, and then things fall through. So I think with The Mandalorian, I think wait, Andrew, what was that?
I said the dreaded creative differences.
Yeah, it's really upsetting, and I think it's just with Jon Favreau. They're like, well, you made that Mandalorian show, so do whatever you want, because people like that. And I guess with Sean Levy, they're like, well, Deadpool and Wolverine made $1 billion, so you can do whatever you want there. And
yeah, dude. I mean, it was going to be a great idea with Patty Jenkins. They were like, "Oh yeah, this is a great idea."
Yeah, it's telling that like after Wonder Woman 84, it was like, I'm not denying that Wonder Woman 1984 was a bad movie, because it was a horrible movie, but I think it's funny how it's like the minute you make a bad film, it's like you're out. And I think it went like that with Taika, where he worked on Love and Thunder first. Love and Thunder bombed, and they're like, well, Taika just can't make a Star Wars now, and it went like that with the Game of Thrones actors. Not actors, the writers, where Game of Thrones did poorly.
Well, Joe, Kathleen Kennedy was just up on stage assuring me after I've been waiting 5 years that it's still happening. What are you talking about?
She literally did the "There is no war in Ba Sing Se." She literally did that. It's like it for every literally if I had a nickel. Oh, Star Wars Hour literally just said it. If I had a nickel for every canned project due to creative differences, I could fund my own Star Wars movie. It's just it's pathetic, and
it's a shame.
It's so weird. Yeah, well, and it's not even that. It's like you have things that were actually canceled, and then even the things that do come out are oftentimes in development hell. And I think TLJ is one of the only like exceptions to that, at least when it comes to movies.
Last Jedi is the only Star Wars movie that went smoothly, and it's the most controversial movie ever made. It's really weird. Like Force Awakens had 1 million drafts, and they had to go through so many, and they said, well, let's play it safe for our first Star Wars movie, and it obviously, I think that went very well. Rogue One had a ton of reshoots, and honestly, I don't even think it came out that bad. Rogue One's
no, it's a miracle how good Rogue One turned out.
Oh yeah.
Rogue it's like now it led to Andor, so it's like Rogue One literally, it is a miracle that movie came out like a masterpiece.
I do think it's funny though, if you ask like Tony Gilroy about like any of the deleted scenes, he's like, no, we don't talk about those. The movie you have, that's the best version. No questions.
He's like, we all worked on it together. We all did what we had to do. I just watched the video on it recently.
Yeah. And then there was Solo, which got gutted. It literally was just, I think like 70% of the movie was reshot, which is insane.
70%?
That was another one.
Yes, and
I didn't know it was 70%. That's
it was like most of it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was another creative differences one.
They did it fast.
Yeah, but how do you not realize that and then have to like to redo 70%? Like that's crazy to me.
And I mean, I like Solo. I don't mind
Solo.
I don't think it's like the worst.
It
So-
should have been
I
a book.
I mean,
It should have been a
honestly,
book. It should have
I
been a book
think-
or a TV show.
It annoys me because when people say,
Cartoon.
"Oh, it's fine," I agree, and I say, "Yeah, it is fine." However, Lord and Miller were originally going to make that movie, and everything they touch is gold. Like they're responsible for Spider-Verse and the Lego Movie and so many other masterpieces. So it's like it being fine is not enough for me because
Yeah.
we could have literally had one of the best Star Wars movies.
It's actually so funny that you mentioned the book thing because now that I think about it, I feel like in a lot of ways that movie kind of has like a plot that you would just find in a novel, and there's a lot of novels that I would rather have be movies.
We need to get the coaxium. That's the movie.
Yeah, like actually, guys, in this
Dude.
obscure novel from back here, you actually get to see how he did the castle run, and I don't know, that
You
just
can't. Well, actually, Andrew, I think saying you can see it is a bit generous.
yeah. Well.
But no, yeah, that's not great. I got excited originally for Hope of the Ray movie because Oscar Isaac was a guest. And I was like, oh, they actually got him in a building for Star Wars? Like, that's like, it has to mean something because maybe they'll announce, like, Oscar Isaac's coming back as Poe Dameron. And then, like, a week before Celebration, he tapped out because he had scheduling conflicts or something. He couldn't come.
Because he's probably in London right now.
Yeah.
To be fair, they sent the Hot Toys figure,
Yeah. But
so that was
I don't
the
know.
display.
I also like there wasn't even also like a Force Awakens panel, was there? For Celebration? I'm just realizing now.
Was there a direct Revenge of the Sith one?
I believe
Not that I'm aware of.
I know
don't-
that they did
I
like a
don't
Siege
think
of Mandalore
so.
one, but I didn't think that they did one like just for.
Yeah, this was a weird celebration, wasn't it, guys?
they missed
Almost
the
like they
layout.
didn't think of it.
It felt empty. I think
Yeah.
there was like because I wanted to like I obviously don't want to be biased because I know Ross, you've gone to 3 at this point, right? 3?
Yeah, but I mean, I remember having a similar feeling about Celebration 2022 because like even though I was there with all my friends and we were like getting to see the first 2 episodes of Kenobi and you had all this stuff going on, they were announcing Skeleton Crew. I mean, like for us, it was a blast at the convention. But if you really like look at it in hindsight, it's like Celebration 2022 was pretty light on news too, but we were just having a freaking blast.
Yeah.
They were showing us Kenobi. They were doing the Kenobi premiere right in front of us. Like there was so much going on there that like we couldn't really care less if there wasn't like a new trailer going out. I feel like
I
it's
think
a little bit
the
similar
only
here.
thing they revealed was Bad Batch Season 2's trailer, right?
And Survivor. Jedi
And
Survivor, I
Survivor,
think.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So maybe 2022 was a little stronger, huh?
Because then 2023 had not just the movie news, which has aged horribly, but it also had the Ahsoka trailer
Bad Batch
and-
3.
and the other Jedi Survivor trailer.
Well, no, Jedi Survivor was coming out like the next week.
I mean, it was still a
Next
new
month?
trailer. It's still
Yeah.
showed
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, so I would still count that as superfluous as it was. I would still count that. So it had the Ahsoka trailer, and then it also had like 100 leaked trailers. Like even though I technically count them, there was the Andor season 2 trailer. There was the Skeleton Crew trailer, even though it was literally just like kids in a forest and then like a shot of Vane. But
And Joe, you were at the Excel Center, and it was a really tight convention, from what I heard.
I hate it. I hated London. I hated London so much.
it was my first ever convention, so I didn't know what to expect. But
Yeah.
Like
I
first
remember
ever?
in hindsight it was very cramped, but I still had a very good time.
Wait,
Like,
Joe, is that your first
Interesting.
ever convention? Like anything?
I don't count New York Comic Con 2022. That was like
Hmm.
that was literally just like me walking in for an hour and being like, "Whoa, I met you. We had a lot of fun." I didn't do anything though. I literally was just the whole time. I waited with you and I waited online with my dad for an hour and a half to meet Oscar Isaac, and it was just my dad complaining, "This is taking too long. I want to go home." And I was like, "Dad, we paid like a lot of money for this. I want to meet Oscar Isaac." And then compared to my mom, because I went to London with her, she was like a sport. Literally, we did everything together. We waited like 3 hours for the panel with Star Wars Explained, and I was always like, "Hey, you're okay, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm excited to meet the YouTubers that you like." And they announced like the
Is that a
Spies.
1-to-1 impression of your mom?
Wait, what?
Is that a 1-to-1 impression of your mom?
It's pretty much. And for the Spies, she was like, they announced like, "Oh, we're gonna show Chapter 23 of The Mandalorian," and I was like, "Oh, we don't have a ticket." And my mom was like, "Let's just walk in and see what happens." And I was like, "I don't want to get kicked out." She's like, "Joe, let's just walk in and see what happens." We walk in, no one stops us, and we ended up watching it with the cast, and it was incredible. Like it was literally night and day with my dad. He was like, "I want to go home," and my mom
There's
was.
one thing you figure out about Celebration screenings. They don't have the easiest time or really like even bother controlling like who's actually in that arena. I mean, like I could have smuggled a few friends into the Obi-Wan screenings. Like literally the way the arena works at most celebrations is like if you just don't leave, no one's coming to kick you out. They're not like doing roll in between panels. Like literally, like it's just you could just stay in there all day and you don't need a lottery to get into the other panels. They're not coming and kicking people out.
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna keep that in mind for LA in 2027 because I'm gonna be real. I'm probably gonna go.
Yeah.
I hope to
Same.
go too. I haven't been to one yet, so
Yeah,
Joe's,
we're all
my
going.
someone in
Joe.
the reply put Joe's mom is Batman.
Well,
You better be
Mark
there,
it
Joe.
on-
I'll be there.
mark it
I
on
mean,
your calendars.
I get to meet
sorry.
honestly Ross if you want. Like I would be honored to meet up with you. Like that'd be
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? It would be my honor. It's been my honor to be here tonight, Joe. I mean, it would be sick to finally meet you in person.
Ross.
That'd be
You're gonna,
awesome, dude.
Ross, if you make me cry, I'm gonna actually. But no, like that'd be great. Like to meet up with you. Like go out because I mean, what?
Yeah.
I'll be 23. I
Holy
turned
crap,
21.
Joe. That's screwing with my head. We've known each other a minute, haven't we? That's screwing with my head.
I'm 20. I'm turning 21 in like less than a month, so I'll be 23 by the time. So like we could technically go out to like a bar, get drinks. Like that'd be
I
incredible.
don't drink, but I mean, okay, yeah.
We can just
Joe-
get soda. It's fine.
Joe, I drink. I'll go out with you.
So
I'll go out with
like that would be incredible, and hopefully they'll, like I think by then maybe the Thrawn movie will be, like on track.
announced.
I think we'll get. I think we'll get like confirmation of a release date because I think right now the reason that it's not moved is because they want to do Ahsoka first, and then Dave's like, okay, let's now.
We
move
get
on.
to Celebration 2027, and they're like, the Taika Waititi film we announced in 2020 is still happening, guys.
Still in production.
I'm actually just gonna I may just walk
the
out.
Ryan Johnson trilogy's still happening, guys. Don't worry.
He's just got to
my
do
God.
three. He's just got to do 3 more Knives Out movies, and then
What if
he'll
they
be
announce
in.
more movies? How funny would that be if they're like we're
I hope to
announcing
God
like
they don't. I hope to God they don't.
a Knights of the Old Republic trilogy.
They'll be like,
Genuinely, there's
they'll be
good
like,
odds of that happening.
Rangers
where
of
they're
the
like,
New Republic, and no, Kathy, that one's not. No, that's one definitely not.
Well, that one got canceled for a different reason, but we're not going to talk about that.
We don't touch on that one. We don't touch on it.
That one
At
got
all,
canceled
at all.
not because of creative differences. It was because the the lead got ejected out of Lucasfilm.
Are you talking about the Lando series? That one's still definitely happening.
Billy D.
guys.
Williams is going to die before that show gets
Billy
greenlit.
D. Williams is getting ejected out of life, unfortunately.
Ross, you can't see that.
I just did.
Ross,
It's okay.
like
That
the,
was
like,
funny.
the
No,
like
but,
my
like-
time
met
to
him.
shine thing. Like if they start filming before whatever his name Patrick Stewart dies, then he'll be in the movie. Sorry, I don't think anyone with Joe gets the reference I just made. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I got it. I mean, they're gonna be like digging up Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen for more cameos. Like, I mean, like what's
Achilles
the dude?
90.
Like he was number one from SpongeBob. Like they're gonna be digging him up like that and just like going for it, dude.
It was his cerebro, Mr. Krabs.
It's not even
He
clear
was
you're
number
90, it's
one.
clear you're like 110, and we're just like reanimating your corpse right now.
Oh my god. They'll actually like it won't just be like CGI recreations, it will be like just full on like they're using the bodies
it'll
as
just
like
be-
Possibly, or I mean, it depends how this whole like AI thing goes too. Like if we just like lose on the rights and all of that, like who knows?
the way
Guys, like, what-
you're gonna
what do
when you
we-
look back at that recording, you're gonna see my smile fade away when you say that.
I think the AI thing is suddenly not as cool. Like once Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford are gone, because like at that point, dude, it is just a cast of necromancy. It's
Yeah.
getting a little
It's
weird.
literally like you say that as a joke, but it's literally necromancy. Like you saw
Yeah.
like, you saw the Flash. Well, I don't think you saw the
Like,
Flash movie, but
I'm in a class. I'm in a class right now, and it's like literally in this textbook, like the Tarkin necromancy. It's in here, and I'm like,
really
wow,
okay.
that's weird. They call it necromancy in the textbook, by the way.
Oh, I
if
like
the
that.
if the
Funny.
I mean,
That's
like,
what I
I
find
think like Luke Skywalker has to be in Ahsoka season 2, or at least in the Thrawn
Bro,
movie.
just don't do the deepfake thing. That the guy they have looks just like him.
Cram
just get-
Hamilton
or-
is like literally Mark Hamill's like nephew. Like not
I s-
literally, but he looks like it. But
I still think that they should get Sebastian Stan. I know that that's not a hot take, but Sebastian Stan just looks so much like him.
Sebastian Stan, I mean, Grant Hamilton looks fine, but
Yeah.
they can't use the Luke actor from Mando season 2 now because he played Next-Wing pilot in Book of Boba Fett, so they can't play him.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Like-
really?
He was the one that when
Wait,
Din
did they?
activated the sublight engines, and he was like, "Oh, should we report to base?" And Carson Teva was like, "You want to go fill out paperwork?" And he's like, "No, sir." Like that was the Luke actor. So they
Wait,
can't.
did they
do-
use different people between Mando season 2 and Book of
Yes.
Boba?
Yes,
Oh,
they
okay.
used
I
two
didn't know
different
that. I
actors.
thought it was the same dude.
And like I'm fine with Graham Hamilton and or Sebastian Stan, both are fine for me. But if the Heir to the Empire movie has Thrawn and Thrawn show up and Luke Skywalker is like a CGI puppet, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like not keep I don't know if I can keep a straight face for that, man. Like it'll, and not only that, but like you'll save money if you just don't use CGI. Like it's
That's true.
cheaper and it will look better.
But no, this is expecting Dave contacts Filoni to, you know, to be fine with some slight visual differences.
Dude,
I mean,
they were really cooking Dave on X and stuff in the last couple of days of being like Andor season 2 is like super relevant for our time and it's breaking new ground. And then Dave is like, yeah, I want to put Ahsoka on a wolf. And I was like, yeah,
I don't
we
even
know.
think like people.
We
I feel
know,
like,
Dave.
like I have my issues with Dave, but I feel like sometimes people are a little like
Yeah,
pushing with him, like because he memed a lot when he was like, "Oh, they're my action figures," and people were like, "See, he only sees them as figure," and I'm like, "Okay, guys, like he was." It's
You guys were kids once too. We
yeah,
like
but
come on.
I do think to a degree it's like, okay, Dave, you gotta take this seriously, but I don't think he's being like, I don't think he's being 100% serious, but I mean with Tony Gilroy, he said for Andor season 2 that apparently there is going to be a legacy character cameo, and they are going to
Yeah.
Which is really people are theorizing that could be Bale, and I
Right.
really hope.
really.
Yeah, well, I heard some people think it might be Bale.
I heard the same thing.
so the,
Is
lot of
Jimmy
recap.
Smith just not available anymore? I
That
don't.
would be, dude. That would be so sad, dude. If he was able to show up in Obi-Wan, but he can't show up in Andor. Like obviously that's not his fault. I just mean like I would feel
I guess
sad.
just scheduling issues, but
Yeah, is
Yeah.
that like not a permanent recast at that point too? Because like, what do? Go back to Jimmy Smith's next time?
that
Yeah.
would be weird. Yeah, it's just like I think Leia. I know people are theorizing that like Clea is Leia, and I'm like no, but
Well, also they said, I think that the context of the interview, they said that the reason it was happening was because of scheduling things, which I don't
Yeah.
really think that would apply to Leia unless they were gonna have like Billy Lord do it and then it was someone else. But
I mean Billy Lord I think is like the perfect Leia, but
Yeah,
for many reasons, but there's like it could be Leia, and it's like they say legacy characters, so this is pre-Disney purchase, as in like a character from the original trilogy and or prequels, So like people were saying like, oh, Agent Callus or like one of the Inquisitors, but it's like I think they mean
Well,
Like,
I also
they
maybe I'm wrong.
recast
and
Mon
we're talking
Mothma in like the finale.
That'd be so funny. Maybe they're talking about two different things here, but because the context that was set in was they were like, hey, there's a lot of Rogue One characters that we wanted to include at the end on Yavin, and there's a few that we weren't able to get because of scheduling issues. And then the interviewer was like, oh, is that why there's a legacy character that needed to be recast? And they were like, yes. So I don't know if they mean like that the legacy character would be in that Yavin scene, or if they just generally mean scheduling caused like recast issues. But in that case, I don't even think that it would be obviously one of the Inquisitors or anything. I mean,
watch it be like General Merrick from Rogue One, the X-wing pilot with the mustache.
it might be, and I mean that'd be
him.
kind of sad, but I mean it would be. I mean,
It's like we're like literally like looking so deep into it. It's just like no, it was just General Merrick.
Somebody did. I think somebody did suggest Jan Dodonna too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, that actually could because he was in Rogue One.
Yeah,
But
and
I
he
don't
would
think
be a
anyone
legacy
noticed.
character too.
Oh no, did the Rogue One actor pass now too?
Maybe.
No, just I mean scheduling conflicts. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
if he.
He's most likely. Wait, Jando Donna Rogue One.
I feel like you can just kind of recast Donna, like,
Yeah,
and no one can really notice anyway. Like he's covered in a giant beard.
yeah. They just
Yeah.
they just show the back of his white head.
Yeah, just get an older gentleman.
Yeah,
Have him grow his beard out.
Yeah,
I don't think he passed away.
I don't think so.
Ian
I'm unsure.
Ian McKinley.
Ian McKellen.
No, not Ian McKelly.
At this
Ian
point, Ian
McSomething.
McKellen just might have made it. It's already going to be necromancy.
He's 70. He's 70. No, he's fine. He's alive. But
Wow.
that may have been scheduling issues because he's in. No, because he's still kicking. He's still in a lot of stuff. So,
Bro,
it
what
could
if
very much-
what if Raditz shows up? That'd be kind of cool.
Raditz was already confirmed.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gonna
Oh,
say, I'm pretty
really?
sure he's confirmed. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yo,
Raditz-
okay. I'm excited. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, Admiral Raditz is going to show up. We don't know to what degree, but that's cool. The Mon Calamari fans are just winning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I'd say that if you guys were to score the celebration, what would you give it out of 10?
Oof.
Trying to think.
As
'Cause
our-
I
as
think
our
I think I watched through all of 17, 19, and then I went to 22 and I went to 23. Oh, man. I don't know. Because 19's probably the best one that there was.
I
That
think
was
it was
Chicago?
19.
Yeah.
Dude, I knew 2019 was special when I ran into Dave Filoni on the freaking street after. I was like, okay, there's magic in the air here.
Yeah.
Still the coolest thing. Like
I just
yeah.
I saw someone run into him in like a Build-A-Bear the other day, and they were posting about
I saw that. I saw that
I
one.
was like, that I don't know. That's just
Why,
funny.
why is
I
that
hate-
strangely on brand for Dave Filoni?
Yeah.
To just see him at a random spot that isn't Star. I ran into Matt Martin in Disneyland after Celebration, and it was at the Avengers campus.
That's cool.
Oh, dude, I harassed both Warwick Davis and Ian McDermott at ORD in Chicago, like within 30 minutes of one another on the way out from that convention. It was quite fun.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, like literally,
I love
like
that.
in the same spot in the same 30 minutes. I just like, I mean, I was like, screw it, and I just went and yeah, Ian McDermott was like. He was like lingering in the same area and standing in the middle of the open walkways. And I'm like, we found out our flight had moved and I had to like dodge around him again, like move Palpatine, like our flight's over here. And we're trying to, I swear to God, like he was just standing in with his assistant, like his guy, like, you know, just like right in the middle of the walkway, just standing there. I'm like, people are walking here, Sidious. Like, and I was so like,
He's waiting. He's waiting for people to ask who he is.
Did you go
you'd
up to
think-
him?
It's
to
so
talk
yeah,
to
this
him?
was after I had already gone up to him at the Delta check-in line, and then he turned me down. And that's cool, but like literally the thought in
Wait,
my
what
head
did he
was,
turn you down for? Did you ask to take a photo?
yeah, because like why not? I mean, because
Yeah.
and because like my thought process was this: like Carrie Fisher had just passed like 3 years earlier, and you know Ian McDermott is Ian McDermott, and you don't know when it's going to be his last. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not living with this regret. We're just gonna go give it a shot. But yeah, dude, then he just kept walking around the same area for like 20 minutes. And like
He
by
was
this point, I'm
taunting
like,
you specifically.
dude, he was walking back and forth so much that I finally turned back. I turned around and I was like, "Have a good flight," like just like nicely. And you know, he didn't say anything back. And I was like, "All right." At this point, like I'm looking at the board. I'm looking at the board, and you know, for the flights. And my dad and I noticed that our flight had moved, and we're like, "Oh crap, we need to like get across to this other side of ORD." And sure enough, there's Ian McDermott again, just in the middle of the walkway, and we're like trying to get from point A to point B, and we had to go around him. And we're like, listen, grand plan. I'm trying to pull it up actually, because
You
dude,
took a picture of him like standing.
dude, I totally did. This dude walked past me so many times that I was like, all right.
You want a picture with me? No, you're never gonna get it.
I have a picture. I have a picture of you.
Well, young
Yeah.
Skywalker, you.
Yeah, I mean, so there's here we go. So like Warwick Davis was cool. He came back on like a cool little scooter, like after his family had already settled down, like wherever they had to sit for their flight. And like Warwick Davis was cool about it. And then yeah, dude. Finally, Ian McDermott. I was like, all right, dude, I'm taking a picture of you.
He looks like an Elden Ring boss, just like idly standing by.
Dude, I mean, he was doing this for like 20 minutes, and then finally he was just like in the middle of the walkway, just like that, and
It's
like standing still.
It's like when you're in a video game and you're about to fight the boss, but the cutscene hasn't initiated yet, so you have to like walk to a specific distance
around him.
So you're like they're waiting. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that totally
good.
happened. You want to know what makes it funnier about me asking like to get a selfie with him just for the hell of it because he was there? I had already gotten another picture with him at that convention.
Oh, that's even better. Oh my god, I love that.
Did he recognize you?
No, definitely not, because you know the revolving door of photo ops. But
oh yeah, no, of course. I just like that would have been funny.
I will say,
oh my god,
I remember when I met Axelove's actor Simon Cassianides. I met him in Star Wars Celebration London, and I got that interaction with him with the Lego figures, and he was so sweet. And I asked when I was meeting him again at New York Comic Con, and that was like later that year, and there was going to be a trio photo op with him, Katie, and Sasha Banks. It was going to be like the Night Owl trio, and I said to my mom as a joke, like, "Oh, you think he'll recognize me?" And she said, "Joe, like, you need to realistically. He meets so many people. There's no way." I go up to him and I'm holding the Lego figures because I wanted to do like a oh, I got all of them to sign it in the photo. I go up and his face just lights up and he goes, "Oh my god, hey!" He's like so excited because he sees them and he looks at me. He immediately was just like, "Oh, I remember you," and it was just like the most euphoric moment.
Aww.
And it's just like, dude, Expos, like 5 minutes of screen time, coolest Mandalorian ever.
yeah.
But so yeah, what would you guys probably say in terms of how would you rate the celebration?
I think it's low.
Yeah,
It's really low.
6.
I mean, I think the mall thing is the coolest.
The
I
mall
think I think a 6 is fair. Yeah, I think the mall thing is the coolest thing.
The
6.5 to
Ahsoka
be
news was
generous.
honestly the best stuff for me, just seeing all the concept art. But yeah,
I hope Mando's good. That's Mando and the and Mando and the Grogu. Mando and Grogu. I hope it's good.
I really hope it's good. Again, please do something good with Din. But
yeah.
He's a good character. They just keep messing him up.
It's yeah.
Dude, I can't wait for Din Djarin to encounter Embo and just like basically give him the same rundown as like Frog Lady and be like, "Look, dude, I don't speak like Green Freak number 3 or whatever." Like, because Embo doesn't speak English, dude. As far as we know, it's just like and these weird noises he makes.
Do you guys think?
About it.
Do you guys think Maruk, not Maruk the Inquisitor, Maruk the dog, will be in it? Because in the Aftermath trilogy, they confirmed that
That
his
dog
dog
is very dead.
They confirmed that his dog has died. So, do you think Dave will keep his composure and
No.
adhere to the canon, or will he be
No.
like, Wolf Lizard Brain has activated.
No.
I'm gonna retcon canon and bring back Maruk.
Well, you got to remember that canon in general does not like Aftermath right now because
Oh,
Unless
yeah.
you're
that'll
Tom
did
check
Chuck
Van.
Wen, I forget, did Chuck Wendig like say or do something like really inappropriate,
Yes,
and that's why?
yes.
Okay, is that what
He
happened?
did
Is that real?
He apparently was harassing fans at some point. I don't know the details, but he apparently
Damn.
was
I think
not.
he was harassing like right-wing fans or something.
He still acted. I mean,
Yeah, it's still messed
to a
up.
degree,
Regardless,
it's still
it's still messed
inappropriate.
up. But yeah,
But he yeah, I think even people who were more like forgiving of Disney Star Wars were like, yeah, Chuck, this ain't the way. So I think
Yeah.
Aftermath retcons are just a form of like revenge against. Unless you're Cobb Vanth or something, you're not sacred to the Aftermath lore.
But look at the Kanan comic, dude. They just said, Dave said, screw that too. I mean,
Yeah.
this is an ongoing thing. I don't, it's been made very clear to us fans that like,
Yeah,
canon books and comics are not canon when Dave says they're no longer canon. Like they're canon up until that point and no further.
Which is so annoying. Like it's genuinely one of like the things that pisses me off like the most about like current Star Wars canon is just because they promised us back when they did the when they decanonized
2014.
everything, they're like, everything's equal. We will have like an extensive story group to make sure this is all in one continuity.
Yep.
Like we don't need tiers like the old EU. We're
now
gonna
we
have
do.
this all in line, and it's really frustrating. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I was actually joking like with Joe the other day, and I'm like, okay, of like Mando and Grogu,
oh no.
the Maul show, Ahsoka season 2, and what was the other thing? What was
Maul.
Wasn't there a fourth?
It's always Maul every time.
No, it was
And anyway,
Maul.
we were like, how many
yeah.
instances of canon breaking things are there going to be, like just continuity wise, and B, how many times are we going to see a lightsaber be used in a way that is just completely nonsensical? And I'm like, I don't know like which of each this will be, but I'm thinking a grand total of 2 at least is out of those 4 projects. Probably Ahsoka season 2 is probably the biggest one that worries me in terms of the lightsaber ones, because for some reason live action Star Wars can't keep themselves from like stabbing characters who they actually want to keep alive. But sorry,
that happens more than 2 times
Yeah.
in some series for some reason.
Yeah.
By the way, they should totally go the route of Marok, like where he's just like a hive mind, like just Night Sister magic freak who they can just like summon whenever in any era. Well, we lost our host.
What happens now?
I don't know. I mean, it still says we're live.
Yeah.
I guess check the YouTube feed.
Oh, yeah,
I honestly didn't even know that's how that works. Like a host can just dip and just we still go.
I
It's
guess
probably worth checking.
I guess I'll take the minute just to say, Ross, I didn't know when to say this, and I've been like trying to play it cool the whole time, but I used to watch your videos like all the time when I was younger, so this is like a little bit surreal for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry, not to be
Cool, man.
weird. I'm just like, I
No,
was talking
dude.
with Joe before, like, wait, like I get to meet Ross? I'm like,
Ross, I'm 25 years old. Yeah, I've been watching you ever since I was probably in like elementary school.
yeah, same.
Yeah.
Man, dude.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna make me emotional over here. Making me really want to get into it again, dude. I've been missing the hell out of it.
Yeah.
That's so cool, guys.
Like
Wow.
when Joe asked me to do this, I was like, oh, that's like really cool and all. And I'm like, I guess I kind of like I've gotten that like point that I'm like, all right, cool. Like I can meet people that I've like watched. Like I'm cool with Rex and Around. And I'm cool with like all the Star Wars Underworld people, and like I've been watching them for years and listening to them for years. So
yeah, that's
it's
cool,
been
man.
really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I used to be the same way, like just meeting like Star Wars stars and celebrities going to the conventions, but after like talking to Ashley X time for like 4 or 5 times, like I mean, they're just people. Like even when I was like on, like I'm just a dude, or like you're on the set, you're on the volume, and it's like, Ewan McGregor, Kumail, like they're just people, dude. And it's cooler to just have a genuine conversation and just be cool than to like flip the hell out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I hope I'm not flipping out right now.
No, because I used to do that when I was like a teenager. I used to just like want to say the most profound thing, or like the one thing I would want to say to that person, and it was like, you don't have to do all that. It's cool, and because dude, when I first met like Hayden Christensen and Tamira Morrison, I almost went into cardiac arrest. Like I almost collapsed in front of Tamira Morrison. I'm not gonna lie. Like when you see the clone template himself in person for the first time right in front of you, like I almost died.
I had that same exact feeling with him.
Like when one human being plays such a significant role in like the majority of your freaking life and all the characters he's played, and then the guy's just standing right in front of you, the face of so many characters that have defined your life, is like hyperventilating,
Well, 2 years ago, I got to meet Peter Cullen, the guy that plays Optimus Prime. I was like,
oh,
he was my child. Like I watched like Transformers and all before the movies even came out. I was a little kid, like watching like G1 and all. And it's like, he's been such an emotional part of my childhood. And I was like, I went up to him. I was like, you're probably the reason why like I started like crying at movies, because when I was like 5 years old, I watched the G1 movie and Optimus Prime dying killed me as a little kid. He's like, it killed me too. And then when my brother and I, we were all dressed in like Mando suits and all, and like my Mando helmet has like the Pre-Vizsla kind of helmet. I want to grab it, but it's like it's up there. I'll pull it up really quick.
Yeah.
But and the reason why I always liked that helmet was because it looked like Optimus Prime, and he wanted to hold my helmet before I even said anything about it.
Aww.
So
Sweet.
I was like, that was awesome.
Wow, that's a cool story, dude.
Yeah, when I met Ashley, it was just so I wanted to cry, and she was just so I gave her the because I basically whenever I made a celeb, I make them a custom, and I made her a Morai, and she was just like at a loss of words, and that's what we talked for so long. And what's funny is that the day after, Miles and I, because we went to go to Rhode Island together, we were online for Sam Witwer, and a fight had broken out on his line, and because I think they started cutting people off, and people were not happy about that. So I turned to Miles and I was like, I'm frightened. Can we please leave? And we were scooting out, and Ashley had just finished her line because they capped it and she was leaving. And she saw us and she was like, guys, over here. Wait, let's talk before you leave. And her remembering me just was like, oh, okay. And she remembered my name too. And it was just like,
you're a fun one to talk to, Joe.
Aw, thanks.
I'd probably do the same thing. Just like, there's Joe, call him over.
LA, I promise, Ross. Whether because Eric, you're gonna go. Andrew, if you go,
I hope to. Yes.
I promise I will find a way to meet all of you guys, and we're gonna make it work. And it's gonna be special. We can go out to dinner. It'll be special. And it's gonna be great, and you guys mean so much to me, and it's crazy that Ross, especially you, I was watching you. The first ever video I saw from you was that Age of Ultron video, and I was like, I want to be like him, and
man,
and now I consider you a friend, and
totally.
I don't want to get sappy. It's just the truth to me, and I will. If we end up both going to LA, whatever happens there, we're gonna make it work, and I'm so excited.
We're gonna have to make a group chat. We'll definitely have to make a group chat and figure it all out.
There's so many of us going that are going to be able to make it in 27. I think that like we have such a wide network. It's just a matter of basically figuring out who's rooming with who.
Yep.
Yeah, we can. I mean, I'd be fine sharing a hotel. That'd be perfectly fine, and we'll find a way. And I think
it is the way.
This is the way. I think honestly that's a great note to end this stream on. I hope all of you have a wonderful week. Andor is less than 2 days away, which is
Yep.
insane to think about. I hope everyone in the chat has a great night. Thank you so much for sticking by us. It's exactly midnight. We've gone for 3 hours. So
Holy crap!
have
Yeah,
a
huh?
everyone have a wonderful night. May the force be with you. This is the way.
Good night, everyone. It was
Good night,
nice
guys.
meeting you guys.
All right.